Hello, this is Carol. Welcome to Needing a Meeting, and I'm your bedraggled host today. We've been running all week on this thing and that and the other, and woo! How's everyone? Hi, CK. So it'll either be a meeting and people will show up to this thing, or it will be me playing Peter Monn. I'm in a Peter Monn kind of mood today. He'll wake us all up. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to start the video since nobody's here. And let's see here. Bring you on, Peter Monn. That rhymed.
Tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And it feels so good to be. Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And it feels so good to be sitting back on the front porch. I had a fantastic vacation visiting a friend in Arizona. I visited my book club partner Mel and another member of the book club, Nikki. She drove here to Indianapolis and we flew out together. We just had a great time. It was a lot of like sitting by the pool, relaxing. For those of you that watch my vlog, my last vlog that I did, the Airbnb that we rented in the pool and did a pool vlog and stuff like that. And it was such a nice, relaxing trip. But you know, like, I was out there 4 days. 4 days is about my limit. Like, when I was just telling Nikki this yesterday, that like, even when we go somewhere for like 7, 8, 9 days, like around the 4-day part is like when I start really missing like my home. And I was just talking to my neighbor across the street and she was so sweet. She's like, we missed you. And she was like, Alex was telling us this and Alex was telling us that. And I was like, I missed you guys too. And I really start missing my dog and stuff like crazy, you know. And so I came home, and I'm going to make a video about this on my Peter Does Stuff channel, but I came home last night and Alex had just like done so much and just made everything perfect for my return home. And that was my love language. It meant so much to me. So, but it feels good to be sitting back here and doing a Peterisms video. I haven't filmed one in like a week, I think, maybe. So I was rolling through the comments. I was like, should I do a meditation today to just kind of ease myself back into this? Or should I read a comment? And I read this comment. And I was like, this is such an interesting comment because this is so pertinent to stuff that I struggled with in early sobriety. And so I want to read the comment to you guys. Obviously, I'm going to not say who the person is that left the comment, but I want to read the comment to you and then I'm going to just talk about it. And I think it's such a great comment as far as people in early sobriety. And it's on my video called Are You an Alcoholic? This person left this comment and they said, oh my god, I've been struggling today, and as soon as I opened YouTube, this was the first suggested video. I have 97 days of sobriety and it has been fairly easy relearning to navigate life without the booze until today. I haven't hung out with anybody I would drink heavily with, and I have gone out to any place I used to drink the whole time. Today, my aunt wanted to get together while she was in town, and I had to decline. I'm not ready yet. That realization came with a lot of first-time thoughts and emotions. Wow, I really am an alcoholic. I totally remember that thought. I know what would happen if I met up with her and how the night would end. There's no question about it. It's realizing this is going to be something I struggle with for the rest of my life. Feeling a little defeated, but I am not going to give in, at least for today. And the hope of her saying I'm not going to give in, at least for today, is just unbelievable to me. Now, the first thing I want to say before getting into this video, okay, if she's watching this, or for anybody out there in early sobriety that is setting limits and boundaries and not seeing people that are drinking or using or going to those places, because I didn't in early sobriety, okay, and in early sobriety I would say probably like my first year, okay, and that was something that was suggested to me, not that last time that I was in sobriety, but in treatment, but all the times I had been in treatment, all the times I had attempted to get sober, things like that. It was suggested to me that you stop hanging around the same people, places and things. And you know, there's the recovery saying that if you hang around a barbershop long enough, you're going to get your hair cut, and so that you have to change your, you know, play friends, play rounds, and play things and things like that. There's all these kind of things about that, right? And I did. Now, I will say, and I want you to know this, today in my sobriety, and I don't know when this happened, I would say maybe a couple years sober. It wasn't like, and I would take people. If I were, let's say, 2 years sober and I really wanted to see a family member of mine that I used to drink with, I would ask a friend of mine that I was sober with. I'd say, do you mind I really want to see her, but I want to, I want it to be easy. Can I go with you? Or will you go with me so that I have like a sober friend with me? And most of my friends would always be like, yeah, sure, no problem. Or, I would talk to my sponsor before it. And I don't know if this person's working a 12-step program, but when you do, you have a lot of people in your support network. And I would call my sponsor and say, so I really want to hang out with this person. What should I do? And, my sponsor probably would have said, take somebody sober along with you if you want to, or if you can't, remember, you can leave at any time, like if you get there and it's too uncomfortable, you can leave. I would also say that I think that transparency is 100% important, right? Like in a situation like that, to say to your friend or to say to your family member, hey, listen, like I need a little sip of coffee, hold on. I just filmed a 45-minute video on my other channel and then talked to my neighbor and my throat's a little dry. But to say, hey, like, listen, I would love to hang out with you. I would love to see you. Unfortunately, don't ever put it on the other person, right? Because then it makes them feel bad and all that kind of stuff, right? And ultimately, really, they're not responsible for your sobriety anyway. And say, I do not feel comfortable with myself. I don't trust myself that I'm going to make good.
That is a great tip. I just had to interrupt and say that. Yeah, nothing more can be said than that's a great tip. Let's do full screen again. Why is it all foobarred? Thank you.
Make good decisions, because I used to love to drink with you, a lot of fun, and I just don't think I'm going to make good decisions if I do that. I think it's fair to be transparent, okay, because they're going to wonder what's going on if you're honest about your sobriety. One of the things that was important for me when I got sober was that I was honest with everybody about my sobriety. Now, I know a lot of people that are not like that. My mom, at the beginning of her sobriety, was not, 100% forthright with everything because she was so worried about the stigma of women and sobriety. I think that stigma still exists today. This whole kind of attitude of like, women are wild or they're weak if they drank and things like that if they're alcoholic. I think that stigma still exists, and that was the stigma that my mother felt like when she got sober, that people would think of her in a way, even if she was sober. But over time, she got more comfortable sharing with people, and she was proud of her sobriety and things like that. For me, and I think also being younger, it made it easier for me that and today there's so many people that are sober, there's so many people that work 12-step programs, there's so many people that stay sober in many different ways, right? So I think everybody knows somebody out there that's sober or somebody that struggled with drugs or alcohol. So to say to somebody, well, I'm sober, I don't think it's such a shock today as it was 30, 40 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever, 20 years ago.
Yeah, you know what?
For me, it has always been so important for me.
It is interesting that, people kind of go, used to back in the day when you'd say you were sober, good for you. You could tell them they were super uncomfortable. I'm like, why are you uncomfortable? I'm sober, which would be worse, Anyway, it is interesting that there was a time where that was created awkward moments. Yes, indeed, Misha. It was really, really amazing. Last night on the boat. If you haven't seen it, go back and be part of the replay crew. Last night's lifeboat.
For me to be honest with everybody in my life. Like when I meet somebody and we'll just start talking. If it's somebody that I think is going to be in my life for a while, I'll just make it very clear, like, hey, I'm sober, I don't drink, I don't smoke weed, I don't do any drugs, whatever, like I make it very, very clear. When I first got sober, I had friends of mine that, just a few, because a lot of them I would, my counselor made me call friends of mine in treatment and say, I can't continue to hang out with you when I get out of here. I did have just a few friends that were very supportive of me that would say things like, I don't have to drink around you, we can go out to lunch, we can do this. But what I realized was that many of those relationships, whether I wanted to admit to it or not, and this was really a hard piece for me, what I realized was that it just started raining, do you hear it? So pretty and relaxing, isn't it? But many of those friendships and relationships were really built around alcohol. Even if they were family members of mine, that was what we did when we got together, you know? So I was either going to have to like get rid of those relationships, or I was going to have to rebuild those relationships and reinvent them into different things, right? Which I don't think at that time I really understood, because you're early in sobriety. At that early in sobriety, for me, it was just about me not drinking. It really didn't have to do with like reinvent. And I wouldn't suggest that. That's something that can come down later on the road, you know? We talk like the 9-step promises and things like that. What we talk about is relationship repaired. We'll cease fighting anything, right? And so we'll understand how better to handle these situations. And I did over time, you know. In my first, let's say, 6 months to a year sober, I did not go out to many places. I can't really remember going out to bars or doing things like that when I first got sober. There were a lot of people in my life that drank heavily, that drank with me, or just drank heavily, that were triggers for me, that I could not be around. And just to put this in perspective, because a lot of people are like, so I'm supposed to get rid of my friend and not talk to my friend. You need to do what you need to do for you. I think each of us inside of us knows who is difficult for us. One of those people for me was my mother.
Oh.
And it wasn't even like I drank heavily with my mother, because I didn't. That was not, I mean, there were other family members of mine that I did drink with, but my mother was not somebody that I would sit down with and get drunk. She just wasn't. But my mother's drinking was triggering for me, because often she would be drunk, she'd call me up, or drunk, or I would come over and see her and she would be drunk, you know, and I just was like, and she actually lived in the house I grew up in until I was in treatment, and then she moved in here. That the month that I was in treatment, excuse me, was
he has 7 different channels, Plant Freak. Yeah, there is one that is mostly dedicated to his sobriety stuff. Let me see if I can come on now. Get out of this. This is his. Sometimes he'll do it on his Peter Monn channel. He'll do sobriety stuff. This one is his Peterisms channel. It's not, his Peterisms channel isn't necessarily all sobriety. I have heard him mention that he does have a channel that is dedicated to sobriety. I'll have to double check that, but he has 7 channels that he maintains. One is a book club. He's got this Peterisms. His drama commentary channel is Peter Monn. And yeah. That's okay. No worries. Just as long as I don't not see it. I want to, sometimes stuff gets by me, and I apologize in advance if somebody has made a good comment and I have not acknowledged it or put it up. Let me full screen this again, and come on, fill out, please. And
it was when my mom moved into the condo. And so before that, I would go over to her house, you know, and she would be drunk or whatever, and I would go home, and my immediate response to that would be like, F her, I'm getting drunk. Like, that's how I would deal with it, you know? And so, or I'm just so tired of this, I'm getting drunk, or if you can't beat them, join them kind of attitude, right? So one of the people that I had to set a boundary with was my mom, and I can remember talking about it in treatment, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, and my mom's going to be so hurt, and what should I say, and what should I do, and all this kind of stuff. And I remember calling my mom. This is where the "and don't call me Shirley" joke comes in, because I said to my mom, you know, they tell me that I can't have people that continue to drink and use. And she said, "Surely you don't mean me." I shared this years ago, and then I said, "and don't call me Shirley," or something like that. She said, "Surely you don't mean me." And I said, "Yeah, I can't be around you until you continue, if you continue to drink." And she was very hurt by it. Very, very hurt. I mean, we had several conversations where she was like, "I cannot believe that you're not going to see me because of my drinking." And I was like, "Mom, it's just too much for me," you know? I didn't put my drinking on my mom. I didn't blame my drinking on my mom. If it comes across that way, that's not what I meant by it. I meant that I used that as an excuse to drink. I used it. I take full responsibility for my drinking. That's why I am such a firm believer that you can't get somebody sober and you can't get them drunk, right? Like, if I go back out and relapse, which I hope to God I never do in my life, that is nobody's responsibility but my own. I own that. That is mine. Nobody out there has the power to keep me sober or to get me drunk. That is on me and me alone completely, right? That's why it's been interesting to me, like, through time, when like trolls will say things like, oh, Peter is blaming if he would relapse on this. I've never done that. I don't know what's been misconstrued where I've said anything that people think that. But for 28 years and 9 months, I have firmly always believed that my sobriety is my sole responsibility. I don't blame it on anybody else. It is on me. I don't even put that on my higher power. That's on me and me alone and the choices that I make. But that doesn't mean that I can't create safe spaces for myself, and that is important for me to do. And I think being transparent with those people that are important, they're important to me. I had a lot of people that were important to me, but they continued to drink and they weren't safe for me. And they were dangerous places. They weren't safe. I had to create safe places for myself, right? So that, number one. Number two, always realizing that I can leave at any given time, you know? I can walk out and say, this isn't safe anymore. I love you. I'm sorry, but I'm going to end up drinking. I leave here if I don't trust myself even doing that, just not going at all, or taking a sober person with me. I have all of those options, right, in that situation. And so there's a lot of things that I can do, and I think that those are kind of training wheels to redeveloping those relationships over time, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to do that, you know, and when you don't trust yourself, because it's hard, you know. And I think that your comment, well, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on your days of sobriety. That's amazing, and you should be so proud of yourself. And the fact that you're taking it so seriously and you feel so comfortable leaving a comment like this on a video of somebody that you don't even know, and that you feel so sure of your sobriety that you're setting boundaries and limits like that, let me just tell you, you are on the right track. Things will get easier for you. You will be able to be around people and see people that do drink, okay? I don't know what that, you know, I have friends of mine that smoke pot. I don't like to be around them when they smoke pot. Can't even remember the last time I was with somebody when they smoked pot. But I'm like, I don't want to be around it. I don't want to smell it. I don't like it. That's my issue, right?
Yeah.
I just don't like it, you know? And that goes for any hard drugs or things like that. But the world that I live in today, for me to be in a world where somebody's going to have a beer at a barbecue, or I can't live in that kind of world that, you know. And so what I had to start realizing was that just because somebody else is drinking doesn't mean that I have to. But I didn't feel safe doing that for a very long time in early sobriety. So I just didn't go around those places because I was afraid.
I wouldn't have felt safe.
If you hang around a barbershop long enough, you're going to get...
I mean, I was so afraid that I wasn't going to make it sober. You know, that I just dove headlong into this extreme evangelical, charismatic church scene, you know. And I just made that my whole world. And that's how I handled it, because I didn't know anybody in San Diego. So it was a way to get to know people out in, you know, even people outside of AA meetings. Because, you know, I feel like you really do need to have people in your life that are not prone to going out and doing those things that you're trying to abstain from. And go ahead and say something, Plant Freak, so I can make sure that your volume is here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Stasia? Yeah. People, places, and things, you know. We do have to be mindful of our people, places, and things. Go ahead and say something so I can make sure that your vocals are...
Is my mic working now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. I don't know why, but it was like the notification or the access was denied, and I'm like, what is this noise?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I can get the chat up there.
And by the time I was around the people that I used to drink and party with, I'd been, you know, 16 years and just all about church, and the last 10 years of it in a cult. So, you know, I was treated completely different because everybody knew, oh, there she is, the holy roller, you know. You know, I'd been going off on Facebook for, you know, being crazy and talking crazy in my, you know, in the way that would be acceptable inside the cult, but the rest of the world finds it weird, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and I was so drunk on the cult that I couldn't imagine that somebody wouldn't think that that's neat, you know?
Yeah.
Isn't
You're like, let me give you the information. It's needed. You need to know this.
that
Yeah.
insane? That is so crazy looking back
But they
on it.
also, it's one of their MOs as well. Every cult, it's like they need their message to be passed on, and they figure out how to incentivize that somehow. And honestly, with a lot of them, it's just, oh, look, you're empowering yourself. And it's okay, you're empowering yourself. You truly believe that, and you want to empower others. Like, it comes from a good place.
Yeah. And I think most people sense that, you know, and I didn't completely lose touch with reality because I did get in a cult pretty much later in life. You know, I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Or yeah. Yeah, I was in my 30s.
Wow.
So, you know, I wasn't, but, you know, at the same time, I did pretty much immerse myself because you know, that's what, you know, if you're going to be in a cult, you're not halfway in.
No.
The people that were halfway in never stuck around, ever, you know.
Because they saw whatever it was that the other people couldn't see.
Right. I love what Misha says here. The old let me save you mentality. Many of us have been used by that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
totally used. You know, and it was totally heaped on us that, you know, blood was on our hands if we didn't go out and evangelize. It's insane.
Yeah.
But, you know, and when, you know, if you're going to go by the words in red, which is what I call it, you know, the things that Jesus said in the New Testament,
Okay.
you know, it was, you know, let people see by your example, not by your words. You know, that's what
Yes.
he said. That's what the man that we're supposedly following said.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
he didn't say,
Lead by example.
yeah, you know, it's like, you know, your love for each other is what's going to set you apart and, you know, make people think
Yeah.
that you're one of my followers.
Yes.
And, you know,
Yes.
and it's not that I didn't love the people that I was in a cult with. I did. But, you know, you've got this dogma that's in between that doesn't allow you to have real conversations. And if you can't have real conversations, you can't have the full extent of the friendship that your heart is drawn to having.
The
You just
connections
can't.
that we all actually need.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a half connection, and that connection isn't actually doing anything for anyone.
Ben says, your life changed, so you wanted to make everything new, maybe on some level. Yeah, 100%, Ben. I did that when I
Yeah.
started getting into behavioral studies of all things. Right on. Like Tommy says, nobody can save somebody else.
The
The
individual has
individual
to
has
do it
to
on
do
their
it on
own.
their own.
Yeah.
All we can do is live in a way that will make others want to do something to find more. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and God, I'm glad I got out of that mess.
I'm happy you did too, because we wouldn't know you now.
That's true. That is so
Right?
true. Well, let's
All of the way that I need to see it, and at least in my life, is things happen because I'm supposed to meet certain people.
yeah. And I believe
Yeah.
that too. I believe that too. There are people that come along at the right time in our life.
Yes.
And there are people that come along at the wrong time, you know? I believe that's a
And
thing that happens. I mean, I think that almost any of us here say on some level or another that you know,
yeah,
that these comments.
it's all
And
good.
I keep in that report this person or block them. I mean, no, I don't want to do that. Why would I do
I don't
that?
want to put them in jail. Humanity
You know,
versus humans.
some call it weakness. To me, it has always been one of my greatest strengths. And that is so true, Misha. Easiest ways to hurt me, but that's okay. Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
My shoulders are strong. And if it lets someone else live easier, there you go. Wow. I don't know. And Mandrew says, like you, Stasia.
Yeah, like us, if honestly, since foster care, I've had to kind of keep that mentality that I had brought up. You meet people for a reason, essentially. Whether
Yeah.
it's good or it's bad, you live, you learn, and you learn something major from all of those things.
100%. It is
Yeah.
so true. All part of a bigger plan. So grateful my path has you all in it. I'm grateful for that too, Misha.
Yes.
Extremely grateful. So very happy you are here. Your ripples, woman.
And I just want to say, I think that Misha did an amazing job last night. As much as she may feel like she wants a redo, I think she did an amazing job. I had a friend call. I put this in the chat earlier, and I was just like, seriously, no, you're trying to have a conversation. I cannot right now. I will call you back. I had to say it like 3 times.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi, y'all.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
I'm good now. I'm hearing my audio is bad, like it was last night, though, and it hasn't normally been like that, has it?
I don't
the last
think
few
so.
times there was that little bit of a white noise sound in the background, but I'm not hearing it now.
Okay, good. That was horrible.
I mean,
I felt so bad.
It may be there a little bit, but it's not as noticeable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's my computer, my laptop, and so it's the fan. So
Oh.
I need to just. And if I'd have known it was that bad, I could have changed my settings. But I had no clue, and so I didn't know until after everything was over, and I was listening to it. I'm like, oh my no.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mention it. If I notice anything like that, and I know you guys are going on some other program, I'll try to make a point of mentioning it so that
I mean, I think it's just because on yours, I don't think it's ever been this bad. Like you said, you didn't notice it. I think it's just settings as far as one person's settings through like their audios to another or something. I don't. Well, no.
Does Tommy use Restream or does he use what's the other one? StreamYard.
StreamYard.
That's it.
Yeah, it's probably because of his settings on StreamYard, I'm thinking.
Yep.
Well, no, well, maybe, but I had noticed it the last few times you'd been on, Misha, and I'm sorry I didn't mention it. But your voice is coming through a lot more clearly.
And that's probably a lot of it too, because last night it was a little bit more restricted. Like here with you guys, it's a little different. I don't want to do something with that many people and like with the trolls and it's just there's certain things too that if it does get out, I don't want to advertise it too much. You know what I mean? With you guys, I know y'all aren't going to share it to where that it's going to be like, oh well, she said this. Whereas with that many people watching, they can it's a little bit easier to find.
Yes.
So and I don't know, it's a hard topic to.
And you're also kind of in a tricky place because you are under a bit of a gag order situation.
Exactly, and that's hard because I so want to scream every single bit of every so badly.
I know it.
Yeah.
Because being quiet for that long, that's really just not a good thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be easy at all.
And do I understand correctly that it's going to be February? That is a court date?
The first court date. But they haven't contacted me. That was actually the other girl that was her sister had gotten a hold of me and told me that date. And so I don't know why. Like, I don't think that I'm going to have to go to that one. I'm hoping that they're going to let me telecourt it though.
Yes.
Okay.
But I've got to get a hold of them and find out, for sure what's going on with it.
Okay. And in your state, is it broadcasted? Like, will they have something like, I know that they have like a camera in the back of some courtrooms. I don't know how it'll work in your state.
That's it. Cause I'm in Oklahoma, but it's in Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
And so I think it might be because she told me, because I'd asked about that, and she told me that it depends on the judge themselves whether or not they are capable of the Zoom meeting thing.
Okay.
And so I think maybe, hopefully, they might make an exception, considering it is like it's almost 700 miles from here.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what was so hard.
I forgot. I didn't look at the mileage, but I did Google it, Google Map it, and it's just under 10-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm pretty close to that, just the opposite direction.
Right.
Anyways.
We had to, and that was something I really don't want to get into because I don't want to take over the show, but that was something that we had to pay per mile to bring her home.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And the crappiest part of it was knowing that, you know, if we're having to do that to bring her home, why couldn't I have just done this and got her home earlier whenever it would have been different? You know, that's one of the hardest things in mileage.
Oh
my goodness.
yeah.
It's we're doing all this now. Why couldn't I have done a thing kind of thing? But I can't get stuck in that. And so that's why I'm like, action.
Yeah. No,
I've got to get out of this.
That's right. That's right. I mean, because you're in that hard, unenviable position of having to figure out how to carry on without her.
Yeah.
I feel like a blob.
I know you are.
And last night with my sister here, you know, I just was holding on to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and something else too that people probably don't understand. They probably thought that it did look like it was an overdose or something else. She was shot.
Right.
The bullet
went no overdose. That is no overdose.
And so that's one of the main things that I'm going to go with on this for her. It's ROSM. It's Ray of Shine Ministries is what we're calling it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that I'm going with, is the fact that, you know, like I said in the summary, she was a known drug addict. Stop. And then they said, you know, I just didn't know how to say it either on YouTube, you know, because you know there's certain keywords you shouldn't say. But it said, of course, how her cause of death, but it also said that there was no weapon or anything found, and that's, you know, they didn't even.
But a gunshot wound is a gunshot wound is a gunshot wound. Why would somebody use a gun at a scene?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And the reason that they finally decided to charge him on her case is because I think that it happened at the apartment where this other little girl got hurt.
Oh no.
They moved her. The witness, the witness that was on Christina is the one that called it in, and she called it in as a suicide. Sorry, I didn't see right there.
It's okay.
Were you not supposed to say that?
I don't know. I don't know what I should or shouldn't say as far as that. You know what I mean? There's just it's me, and my knowing is totally different than what reality is sometimes.
Because I can.
That's the hard part.
Once this video processes, you know, usually by, you know, later tonight, certainly by in the morning, I can edit it out if you need me to.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
I haven't done lives enough to know that. That's good to know.
I'll keep track of what time it was approximately, so I can let you know, Carol.
Okay, yeah, we're at the 33:42 mark, so
approximately 32:30.
Yeah, let me write
right on. Awesome.
We got you. Don't worry.
That's so much better to have the freedom of being able to speak without having to sound like an alien.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. I still can't believe that it was I don't know how to properly say it, but stated as unaliving in the beginning, and then it took him doing something again.
And them finding, which I actually was, because in September is when because there was the detective that I talked to and that I gave the information to. I gave all the names and all the pictures, all my diaries that I'd had of her. I've got recordings just of her. She didn't realize that she answered the phone. So for like 3 hours, we had background noise, but we got to hear what was going on in that world.
Oh wow.
And me being me, of course, I was like riveted, stuck right there to this, trying to listen, you know.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of information that I had that I think would really benefit, because it's a great big ring. It's a great big ring.
Wow.
And so that plus the hour-long conversation that I have recorded with him talking to me, all of that detective told me that they had the APB out for him, that they had everything in place, that they were looking for him actively. If they were looking for him actively, he had been served with 2 other protective orders since then
Holy
at the
cow.
same location.
He's
At the
not
same
out, is
location.
he? He's not out on
No,
bond. Is he? Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, thank God. But they did release
Yeah.
him with a $50,000 bond if he would have had the money, and it was on house arrest. But he is homeless. They were all 3 squatting in these apartments.
So
Oh.
how would he be even able to be on house arrest?
That's my point. That's
That
one
doesn't
of my
make any
points.
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No.
Oh,
And
I
so
mean,
the
you don't
reason
let a
why
murderer be out on the streets. You just don't. You know, and
yeah.
house
this
arrest
other girl,
he
it
may
was
well
pointless.
be
There was no reason. There was no reason for her to have been gone. Not one at all.
right.
And
Right.
that angers it even angers me more because, you know, and I mean, it's not more than, you know, Christina, obviously, but it's the fact that this continued on and a life was taken for no reason
For no
again
reason.
that could have been
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the one that called it in
Oh,
Dear word.
for Christina.
golly.
Oh. So he's trying
The
to cover his tracks, most likely.
I think he's just in a very horrible place himself. And
Uh-huh.
I think that he was, because even when he was talking to me, you could tell a difference in him whenever he was starting to come down. And then all of a
Oh.
sudden there was a scuffle, like there was people in the
You
room
have
or whatever.
actually talked to this person. I didn't realize that,
Yeah,
Misha.
yeah, I've got a recorded phone call. He tried calling me several times after that as well. Yeah,
Oh,
because I was calling, and see, it's hard for me to say it on last night because, you know, it's again trying to be this holding it back kind of bullcrap.
yeah.
But
Yeah. And a larger audience, it makes it really hard.
yeah, and plus too, I feel like it was kind of, I struggle with the fact that it feels like almost I'm trying to commercialize this, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to get her
I don't
story
feel
out.
that way. I don't feel that you
I don't
are.
feel, no.
I
No,
still
I don't feel that
struggle
you are
with
either.
that because it's like, you know, I can't curtail how I talk. And I've always been a very, even though I shouldn't be, even though it's, you know, they say honest to a fault kind of thing. For when I was little, I was told to be seen, not heard, to be pretty, sit there and be pretty, to be seen,
Yeah.
not heard, you know, that kind of thing. And so that kind of philosophy, I rebelled against that. My entire life, I've rebelled against that.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, that somehow it got imbued into Christina because she only worried about other people. And so
Yeah.
she was seen and not heard. And
Oh.
so I have to scream for her now because I didn't scream for her then.
Mm. And
You
I think
know?
that you are screaming louder than maybe even you realize. Like what you had said last night was, this is her legacy and I'm going to make this awesome.
Yes.
I'm going to make sure I reach as many people as possible, help as many people as possible with her voice. I mean, I'm still here.
Yes.
You got me in tears as soon as you said that last night.
Yes.
It was stunning.
Yes. It gives me chills just thinking about it now.
Yeah.
The things that she went through, the things that I went through, the things that she went through, the things her sisters have gone through. You know, the first time we went out to the cemetery, we had gotten the police report that day too.
Oh.
And it was a struggle to get it because it was $20. And
Wow.
whenever I got it and we looked at it, and we'd had a really bad, my oldest and I had a really bad incident happen. And that's the reason she needed her mama. She come to her mama. And so we had that. And then we got this report and it took forever for us to get it. We finally got it and there was nothing on there. Everything was redacted. And it was a 1 page. It was 2 pages, but the second page was just like the police officers' names. There was nothing on there. There was nothing on there.
Oh my God.
$20 for what? Yeah.
Exactly. To see that there was nothing on there. Yeah. So then we go out to the cemetery, and I had, like, several years beforehand, we had, because we're flippers, you know, we used to, the storage units, and then turn around and sell the contents, you know, kind of thing.
Yep.
There was a very beautiful, ornate, I loved it, bench. It was a wrought iron bench, and it was like from the Victorian era. beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And we'd go out and sit on it. I used to tell Chris, "You're going to be sitting on this someday. You're going to be sitting on this someday." And so we took that out there to be beside her, to where that it still could be there, because she never
Yeah.
got. And the first
Oh,
time
my
that we went out there to the cemetery, it was gone.
Oh,
And so even then, she was disrespected, and it just went
God.
through me.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry to hear that.
It's enough,
Yeah.
It's not the actual bench that matters; it's the disrespect.
It's the sentiment that you guys had behind it, and somebody decided to just take that away from you.
Yes, from someone who had passed. How do you steal from somebody like that? How do you steal it, anyways? But especially like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just more disrespect to her, and I
Yeah.
can't. And that's what I feel like with the police department, what they're doing, because this little girl, her sister, is a veteran with the police department down the road. Her husband, her
Okay.
sister's husband, has worked with BRPD for 30-something years.
Wow.
His
Wow.
business is the one that gives and provides the airplanes and the helicopters for the unit.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
And so when this happened, July 3rd, with 4th of July in between, so they're not anybody working that day, but then they had the autopsy back July 5th, and they had this man arrested July 5th. After Christina had been gone since, I think it happened after the phone call with she and I, to be
Wow.
honest.
oh my God.
That to me is the biggest disrespect, because I wasn't from there, because we weren't the right people, because she was, as they had put it, a drug addict.
Yeah. Yeah. You can classify somebody that just so that it makes it easier for your report.
My daughter was so much more than a drug addict. The things that, and I know we shouldn't as addicts say this caused this or this caused that, but in her case, full on, the things that I did as a mother not to be able to protect her, the things that her father did, I don't know how you could be sane and not. And then she was dealing with, like the institutions, like the rehabs and stuff, the mental health places that she was in. I had to go through so much trying to find her. When I finally found her, nobody would talk to me, even though I was her mom. They wouldn't talk to me. And then when I would find people that would talk to me, I would tell them, "We just found out about my autism. We just found out about what autism really was."
Yeah.
And Christina, 100% case, she has so many of the signs. And I'm like, we need to discuss this. We need to look at this. This could be what's going on with her.
Yeah.
And we can do different tools. We can do different things with her, and we can maybe help her to where that she's not like this anymore. She's not stuck. We can give her the tools that she needs. I can't, because I'm not there. I'm not physically there, but we can do this together.
Yeah.
They wouldn't listen.
Nothing's ever done.
Oh, dear God.
As a society, we failed my daughter, and
Yeah.
now we're blaming her for being a drug addict, which is the only
Yeah. That's
thing in her
bullshit.
mind she could do.
Pardon
How
my
can you go through
language.
the things that she went through and not have something?
Right.
I've been homeless, and I know that the lure of having just enough money to either buy yourself dinner or buy yourself the stuff, and the stuff is going to make it to where you don't have to sleep or eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go to sleep there, you're going to have everything stolen from you, and it could be worse than everything stolen from you.
That's true.
What do you do if you've got somebody saying, "Well, here it is,"
Yeah.
and you're trying to fight it? It's really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't realize when they look at homeless people, they just think, "Oh, well, look at them." Nobody grows up as a child saying, "I want to be homeless or an addict when I grow up."
And be addicted to this terrible substance. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I think that I wish that people would just look and understand that, they didn't start out being that way. They just were not able or didn't have the tools available to stay strong enough in this world on their own without help.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I want her legacy to be. I want to be able to help people realize that there's people out there that see that their struggle is real. It's so much more real. Why don't you just go out and get you a job? Well, let me see, because I don't have an address. I don't have a way to stay, you don't stay clean like you need to. You find ways.
Were you there when Christy was talking about how she was
Yeah.
trying to get a job, and when as soon as they found out that she was homeless,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, no job. No,
Yep.
we won't give you.
And that happened to me too. And then even when I wasn't homeless, it happened because I was a felon and I was a woman, and women jobs are a lot different than men jobs. I know that that's, bias, blah, 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 but
It's the truth.
it is. I mean, I worked for an oil company once, and I seen the things that they were hired on with, and I'm like, wow, because I would get jobs as management at places and would even work 1 to 2 weeks worth of working there before HR would come down and say, no, she can't work for us.
Dear God.
And that's defeating when you're a single mom raising 3 kids on your own with no help, and you're doing everything you can. I mean, I was going to college to be a drug and alcohol counselor. I was doing everything that I could do,
Wow.
and then shot down. It takes a toll. And I'm not using that as an excuse by any means, but I am using it as an
No, but come on. We don't have to make it to where, the only option you have left.
Because you can make a lot of money doing certain things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank God I was able to find my way for the most part. But I feel horrible for the fact that my daughter wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's everybody has their story. And I think that, it's so sad to me that humanity is leaving this world because everybody's story is strong. Everybody's story is important. Why can we say that, hey, your story is just, no, you're worthless? Every one of us have struggled and made it or not. Every one of us has went through things, and it's just, it hurts so bad that we're looking at these people saying, you need to do this, but then have no idea and don't even take the time to look at what they're having to do. And this is family members, this is parents, this is brothers, sisters, and when they could be helping, instead they're just condemning.
Yeah.
So that's not even why I come on here, though. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, and we're unfortunately, addiction is getting so rampant that nobody gets the luxury of that anymore, because they know somebody that's close to them is having that struggle.
And if we could get more people,
that's the situation, but it's also, it's unfortunate that that's what it's taking for people to get a grip and get a clue.
And we cannot hide from the reality. All these people that have their heads in the sand like ostriches get mad because somebody pulls their head out. Well, we need to look around and see what's going on.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's part of what's wrong with addiction to begin with, is we all try to hide from reality. If we start looking at it, it's just stop looking with the condemnation. Start looking with love. And if we all, and that's like, we are the world kind of thing. Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
What if?
Yeah. If we could at least have a little bit more respect for one another, love for one another, understanding for one another, we would be in a better place.
Yeah, because guaranteed those people that are looking down, I'm promising you that there's something that they're hiding is why they're doing it.
Yes. Yeah. A form of self-medication, whether it be for an actual illness or whether it be for just their trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that would, it would just, moms, that's something, there's on AML. I don't know if you guys know that channel or not.
I don't
All-Time
know.
Media.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I really highly suggest watching it. That's something I did that helped me therapeutically with Chris after the fact. I wish I would have found it beforehand. But it's people from mainly Kensington.
Okay.
And he goes on and actually interviews them, and he shows the reality of the streets. And there's this one girl that's on there, and she just, she had so much going for her, but she just couldn't beat it. And she was real open and honest about things. And her mother had gone on there.
You've been on AML, haven't you, Misha?
Yeah, I went on AML.
That's where I heard of it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and they are, he just got through, he's like 44 years old and having heart issues. It's getting harder and younger with our heart issues. That's there's a lot more to this than what people want to realize.
Yeah.
And we're all being used. We're all being played. We're all being manipulated. And it is so much going on that, man, I don't know how anybody's not screwed up.
Exactly.
But anyways, on the AML, this mom, she was talking about how she just can't do it. She just won't come home. She's got a place to come home. She's got a place she can just, and I'm like, you're talking right now about the things that she's not doing, but
Yeah.
are you telling her, I love you, come home? Are you telling her, I want to help you, reach out? Are you, instead of saying you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And that's, man, I wish I would have known that before, because no matter what would have had to have been done, if I'd have not realized it can happen to any of us. We get this, it's not going to happen to me kind of feeling and attitude. And my God, it can happen to any of us at any moment.
At any time. It's so true.
Something I was taught with my little guy is, instead of trying to give my assumption or my answer to what it is that he's talking about, just flat out say why and let him explain. So all I can think of from that situation you just explained was, well, what happened if the mother would have turned around and just said, why won't you come home?
Right.
And actually talk to her about it and actually work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people are scared if somebody's looking at them like that does something to somebody.
Yes.
And if you're scared of that happening, then you're already blaming yourself for failing and not being able to do it. Then it puts a pressure on that you can't always fight that easy. It's just even harder. And it just puts the weight even further down.
That's true.
And, that's the thing too, is a lot of time, nobody, like Tommy said, we all have to be able to save ourselves. When you're talking to somebody and you've got a problem, 9 times out of 10, you know the answer. You do, but you just don't know how to make it. Because I've had friends that tell me every single thing that they tell me is word for word what I'm telling them in my head whenever they're coming to me with their problems.
Yeah. But when it's your own, you can't seem to translate it.
You cannot see it from your own perspective sometimes. And that's another reason this peer support that we have is so important.
Yeah.
Because we can be there to help each other figure it out. Just to be the sounding board.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm doing that. I'm doing the voicemail. It will be done this weekend. By the way.
Well, if you need help and I can help at all, just let me know.
I do. I will need help.
Okay.
I think I'm going to get a bunch of us together, and hopefully everybody that wants to help will have Facebook or will be willing to come on some kind of chat thing with us, because I want to do some get-togethers like that, one-on-ones with it, to where you can just, these are the things that I see. What do you guys see? And then these are the things that I can do to help. If we can all come together like that.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm just all over the place. I am seriously like that bumblebee going.
I don't know how you wouldn't be, Misha.
Exactly.
I don't know how you wouldn't. I know.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the flight of the bumblebee in my head, constant.
Yeah.
I need, and counseling is very important. And they told me that they would help with crisis victims unit. They told me that they would help with the therapy, but heck, even my therapist abandoned me. She was supposedly my friend before we became therapists. Related.
Oh goodness.
And so if I have to wait for this and that, I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start taking action, and I'm just going to hold on to you guys. And if you guys will be there, then we can all. That's pretty unfair. I just realized. But
yes,
I can't do it on myself.
And you know what? I understand the feeling of I need to do something, because this waiting around, mine isn't waiting around nearly as extreme as yours, but I have a slight understanding of it. The waiting around is just too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I feel like a blob. And they say a rolling stone gathers no moss. I've gathered a heck of a lot of moss, and I got to get this shed.
Yeah.
I got to get rid of it. So
you will we will be here with you 100% of the way with whatever it is that your heart desires and whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
And babe girl, right back at you. And we do need you and I do some one-on-one talking, because I do have some resources and stuff from my own going through that. And you are doing so much better than I ever did at that point. Oh my God, you are just incredible. You really are.
We're all stronger than we think sometimes.
When we look back, if we could just realize that when we're doing
it. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You had said something. That's the reason I'd hopped on here, and now I cannot for the life of me. I totally just lost it.
Stasi had it, or I had.
Both of you had, but then the last comment that she had said, and I still can't get your name right.
Stasia.
Stasia. So like Anastasia.
Yeah, exactly. My full name is Anastasia, but I do go by my middle name.
Okay.
Yes.
You go by your middle name?
Yes, I don't go by my first name. It's too trauma-filled for me. So
Gotcha.
when I was 12 and went into foster care, I decided that I'm going to go by Anastasia, and it felt even better. And I was just like, I like that name. My first name's really blah.
Well, Anastasia, actually, there's a good story about that with me. So that's, I relate to Anastasia so much better. So that's why I kept thinking that's how to say it in my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'm saying, I don't know. I'm bad about names.
And I want to try and give you something good to think about in around that July 3rd, July 5th time. That's very hard for you. We Superhero is born July 3rd.
I like those kind of babies because Alice Ann, Christina's younger sister,
yes,
her birthday's in July.
Oh. So as soon as you said it, my heart was like, oh my God. Yeah. So I wanted to give you kind of something happy to think about in that time as well. I know it's not going to be the first thing that comes to your head, but hopefully it'll bring a smile.
It would be good, yeah, because Alice Ann and him, and that's much better than, which, I mean, that's not my tragedy.
Yeah.
What happened that weekend. It's a tragedy that's related, but it's not.
But it all piles, at least in my experience, it all piles together, even though it's not mine. I have a hard time going, it's not mine, and attaching it to my trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, girl. Yeah.
Right?
Preach it, woman.
I'm learning slowly. Well, actually, rather quickly. It hasn't been that long. It feels like forever, though. It feels like it's been like 6 months when it's in reality only been a month and a half.
For real, I know that one. That's like, I can't believe that we're coming up on a year. It really, truly is mind blowing. But I think I've spent a lot of it in a daze. And so that's probably a lot of it. But ladies, I'm going to hop back off. I really wasn't planning on coming on here for this. And so
I'm so glad you did, though.
I did. I'm very happy too.
Carol, I really thank you for this platform.
Thank you for being here. I mean, it's not anything if you guys aren't part of it. It's nothing. It's a bunch of,
That's what makes it so special.
Yeah. The connection.
Yeah.
That's even what I had said the other night on the boat. If it wasn't for this connection, I wouldn't still be sober.
For real.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your situation, there's a lot of tedium involved in your situation. And that is a ripe environment.
Yes.
In the
yes.
Yeah.
So I literally have taken on 435 episodes of an anime that I just started. So that should take up some of my time.
There you go. There you go. You got this, babe. We all do. We all got it.
You too, Misha.
Mwah.
Mwah. Love you.
Love you, Misha. Hop on again if you need to or want to.
Okay, I'll hop in the chats for definite.
Okay.
I want to welcome a Rolling Stone. Thank you so much for being here. How we kind of work is I post the link, and if you want to come in and talk on screen with us, that's wonderful. Anybody's welcome to do that, or you can talk in the chat. There's a lot of great people here, and a meeting can be 2 people as long as there's you and let's see.
And there will always be a meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
There can be 2 people.
You know what? Even just picking up the phone sometimes, like I was talking to Steve the other night, I didn't realize I needed a meeting that late at, whenever he called. And it was just like, I verbally just info dumped on him. And then I was just like, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize all of that had to come out.
Yeah. She sure did, Chris. She sure did wonderfully. It was, I mean, I still get chills thinking about it right now. I do.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to go back and rewatch it. And I didn't realize that she had been on the boat before. So I want to go back and watch that as well. And then now that I know about this other channel, I want to go watch that.
Yeah.
Give all the support I possibly can from afar.
Right on. Do we want to finish Peter Monn?
Yeah, let's finish that up because I would like to hear the remainder of what he thinks, and then I'm going to have to go and subscribe to all of these 7 channels.
Yes. Right on.
Going to get your hair cut. I couldn't risk my sobriety over my love or my relationship for somebody else. And in all honesty, I had to be like we talked about being selfish in early sobriety. Not selfish, cruel, but only caring about yourself. I had to be selfish enough to do what was important for me in early sobriety so that later I could be a better son, a better friend, a better husband, a better boyfriend, a better, whatever, to anybody, better person to other people out there. But first I had to take care of myself and set those limits and boundaries with myself, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be good for anybody. I had to take care of myself. I had to set up foundation of sobriety for myself first, and I had to set those limits and boundaries. Did that mean that I could never?
I think that's one of the most important key components of sobriety is those boundaries.
Yeah.
Because we had none when we were out in active addiction or actively behaving in an addictive, in an addictive behavior. And it's a key component.
Yeah. And I've noticed even in my own personal sobriety, alcohol was the easiest for me because it was never my choice. Like it was the legal, easy thing.
Yeah.
So alcohol was easy for me. But then as soon as I was noticing that, nope, I'm setting this boundary. And then I removed myself from a situation where my boundaries were being basically bulldozed over.
Yeah.
Then it's so much easier. It's so much easier when you're able to set the boundary and keep the boundary, because then now you don't have this guilt that you're letting somebody down by not using with them.
Right.
Yeah.
And setting those boundaries is one of the hardest and can be one of the more trickier parts. But, once they're defined and they're set within yourself, it makes a big difference.
I had been sober years ago, and the group of people that I was around at that time were so understanding, and I set the boundaries. And I said, nope, I can't be around you if you're on this. I can't be around you if you're on that. It's just not possible for me. I'm not going to be able to not want what you're taking.
Yeah.
And it was good. Those boundaries were respected from those individuals,
right.
But then later on being bulldozed by somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's a person that you can't be around.
Exactly.
Your boundaries defined your relationships too.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how, honestly, it wasn't even sobriety that made me understand how important boundaries were. Right. But just having boundaries was not something I had at the beginning of this last relationship that I realized slowly I had to develop over time, even though they were getting bulldozed. I still needed to understand that these boundaries are there to help me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And if you can't help you, then you can't help anybody.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad and that's, that is something that, the kind of person the kind of situation that you found yourself in this last relationship, they love the boundaryless person.
Yeah.
They don't get very far with a person with boundaries.
Exactly. There's going to be arguments right off the bat. There is no honeymoon stage. Just trying to look down here. There we go. Oh, you're bringing them up. We're good.
Hardly ever easy. That is the truth, Ben. It's not easy to set them. It's not easy to even recognize what they need to be if you've never had them. For so long, I never even knew that I had a right to them, much less how to set them, how to define them. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not something that we're taught. This is not something that we're taught in school. This is not something that we're taught. Well, I wasn't specifically taught from my parents or when I went into foster care. Maybe it came up once or twice, but it's not like you need this. It was just, okay, this is a thing and we're moving on. It's something that I'm going to try very hard to be particular with my kids.
Yeah. Right on. The way he defined his boundary with his mother is also a good way to set a boundary with a narcissist. If you have those relationships, it's not you, it's me. Yeah. Taking full responsibility for, owning what you're saying, what you're defining, what you're owning what you need, essentially.
Yeah. I was doing that just in the wrong way. I would apologize and say, it's me, it's me. I wasn't using it as, here's my boundary. It's not you, it's me. But again, in situations, you can't see what you need to do sometimes.
That's right.
A lot of the time.
You're too busy trying to survive in the fast moving hamster wheel.
I like that analogy. I decided to fling myself off that one. I jumped head first.
Going from the realization of people not respecting boundaries are not the ones that care for us and shouldn't be in our lives to reinforcing them. Tricky. Guilt for setting them. Fear of being
hoity.
Like
hoity-toity?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the people that are going to think that about us, they are not necessarily going to be helpful to us, more than likely.
Yeah.
There's some people, even sometimes you even have to put up a certain boundary with family. I've had to do it. It's hard. And it's
sorry, my daughter's listening today, so I'm just waving at her. Oh, that made me almost cry. Hi.
When I hear someone say, when I went into foster care, it makes me feel like I was too lucky to be so effed up. Strong women, gotta love them. I didn't go into foster care either, Rolling Stone, but I was effed up. So effed up. I was a very effed up young adult, and I almost didn't make it to 30.
Yeah. And you know what? To be honest, foster care was better than what I was living. So it made people are like, oh my God, foster care. It's like, no, I really need you to understand that 6 months before foster care was hell. And foster care was a limbo, and it was easy in comparison to what I was living.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's hard to set boundaries when it's family. When they're elderly, it's even harder. That is true, Mischief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Yeah, well, I can imagine. I'm trying to set boundaries with my dad.
Yeah.
But the easier thing to do for me right now is just, you'll ask for information when you want information, instead of feeling guilty that I'm not calling or giving information freely.
Right.
That's the best thing that I can do right now. My boundary with him is I'm not going to let the guilt come on me anymore.
That's right. Because it never belonged to you.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. That is still, especially in that parental relationship, it's just so hard to understand it still. Like, I can say it, my brain can hear it, but I'm still processing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It 100% totally makes sense. You can know a thing and acknowledge a thing and give mental assent and even have an emotional connection to it, but to actually own it.
Yes.
That's a whole other beast.
Yeah. For me to just outwardly be able to say to my daughter, even, I haven't been talking to, grandpa, here's my reasons. Just, that was the first door that opened to be like, okay, this is reality. This is what's happening, and it's okay. I just need to be honest, not just with myself, with everybody involved.
Yeah.
That this is the reality, so that I can either support or get support where needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to continue with Peter. This should be the home stretch. Sometimes it's hard not to interrupt.
Okay, but it's a reaction video. We're supposed to interrupt.
He is bringing us such fantastic points.
Yes. Yes.
be around people again. No, our basic text in the 12-step program that I work tells us to not avoid these places, that if we have reasons to be there. If you have a friend of yours I have friends of mine that are sober, okay, that are in bands, that are in sober bands that play in bars sometimes. And a bunch of us in sobriety will go there and listen to them play in a band. If I have a reason to be there, there's no reason for me not to be there. If I'm going to a family dinner in a restaurant that happens to have a bar, there's not a reason for me not to miss that just because there's a bar there. Do I know people that are sober at 20 years that do not go to restaurants where they serve alcohol? Absolutely. But that is not the life that I live, right? That is not what I choose to do, because I can set healthy limits and boundaries. And for me, it's mostly if I ever get myself in a situation where I feel uncomfortable, I can always leave. I don't have to stay there, you know? But in early sobriety, it was very important for me not be around that especially ones I used to use with, and for me to create safe spaces for myself. It was vital to my recovery. So I'm proud of you for bringing this up, and I think it's a very important topic, and you should be proud of yourself as well. And if you guys have any other recovery questions, you know this is my favorite topic to talk about, so let me know in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
I love his mannerisms. I've been waiting until the end of the video, but I'm like, in that short period of time, I have fallen in love with the way he speaks.
Hi, families.
Oi, hi, family.
I have no idea what happened.
It was an interesting face.
Yeah, let's see if I can get this to shut off. Thank you. Yeah, have you ever watched his drama commentary channel?
I've not watched anything. That was the first thing I've seen of his.
Oh,
so I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to go and like subscribe to all 7 of the channels, and then I have a ton of content on top of all 400 and some odd episodes of this anime now.
Start with the channel that is just named Peter Monn.
Okay.
He is hilarious. I don't even know the people that he's talking about, but I just can't get enough of hearing him talk about them.
Right? Oh my God. Just the way that he's being so open, but then on top of it, his little mannerisms too. And I don't know, it gets me, you know, any orientation for men, and they're all gray like that. I'm like, I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
I'm headed south in January. Let's see. A great watch for those who are adopted to live through foster care, y'all. Okay.
I'll take a look at that.
All right.
Yeah.
Removed from reality. Is that a okay? Unfortunately I can't click on links from within Restream, so
okay.
I can't get links.
And I just want to check in with Rolling Stone. He had come in saying that he needed a meeting. I just wanted to see if we can do anything. We can help at all.
Headed south in January, going to see my dad in Alabama. I really think I'm going to Baton Rouge in February. Have a dog, will travel. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good, Rolling Stone.
All the support possible. I know I won't be able to make it personally, and I'd love to be able to make it.
Yeah.
But all of the support that can be there.
I'm going to try. It'll have to be on days that Steve isn't working, because I'll have to rely on him to take care of the animals like quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. A bark, nom nom to keep you company. I'm so glad you found it, Rolling Stone. We do have that in spades here, and I love that.
Yes. This is some of the truest connection I have felt most of my adult life. And to me, it's still insane that I have not been able to physically touch any of the people that I love so much. that is just insane to me still. I'm like, this technology thing? What?
So Misha is not sure when she will be going to Baton Rouge, but
yes.
When she knows, I know that we will all know.
Yes. And then when she also said that she'll figure out if the Zoom is able to happen, which I really hope it is.
And you guys, let's get it right. I thought as much, but I didn't want to presume. It's Ms. Rolling Stone, thanks. Yeah.
Ms. Rolling Stone. Well, hello, Ms.
Hello, Ms. And I apologize. I thought, you know, I when was brought up, I was like, is it a he? I don't know that. Yeah. So I'm glad you straightened us out. Very good.
My fault. I go Rolling Stone, and then I start thinking Kiss, and then I Lord Kiss Freak, and everything then becomes he.
Misha says, me tribe, not tangible. So tangible. My wind family, because I feel the love via the airwaves. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I just want to also ask everybody to keep Christine and her friend in mind. I know that there's a lot going on there, so she wouldn't be able to be with us this evening. And I just want everybody to send some good vibes, some prayers, whatever it is that you guys do.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be thinking of Mick Jagger. Why should we be thinking of Mick Jagger? I'm intrigued. I'm really Rolling Stone. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Christy Colwell and friend 100%. Yeah. Ooh.
Rolling Stone equals Mick. There we go.
Yeah. I think I'm tracking with you guys now.
Just took us a minute to kind of like focus in for a second.
Yeah.
It happens. It's okay.
He is the Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Yeah, today was a little bit more tough than I expected when I woke up, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed and I'm not getting out of bed again. So I like woke up 4 times and I was like, nuh-uh, back to bed. Nuh-uh, back to bed.
Good for you.
Right? But I had some vivid dreams, and it actually took me until like halfway through the day to realize they didn't happen. They were dreams.
Oh.
Yeah. So that my brain is processing. Like they weren't vivid bad dreams, but they weren't happy dreams either. They were limbo, mediocre. And it was like everyday things. I thought that it had happened. And I talked to a social worker here. She goes, we never had that conversation.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are really processing.
Yeah.
It's like you're on the fast track with everything.
Except I got paperwork done today that I probably wouldn't have gotten done.
You know, except for the things that, you know, you might have, I don't remember what I was going with that. Anyway, I'm cold, you guys. This room is cold. I'm either going to have to move into another room. I might have to do that.
Do it if you need to.
I've got, like, my nose is so cold right now, and I've been sitting here in this cold room. I've wrapped up, but okay. The name isn't about the band. It's about never being able to settle down, put down roots, or really call any place home. Also, if humans are going to end, I'm rooting for the asteroid.
Oh, I love it.
Unfortunately, I relate to that. I mean, sometimes it's so true. You know, I don't know how it is that human beings can really suck as hard as they do, but they do. We can be the best and the most wonderful things to have around, and we can be the worst thing that ever happened.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Girl, I do that.
Girl, I do that. You need to mention that to your counselor, though, not to scare you, just a sign. I now wish I could have looked for with my DID.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that, because honestly, I wouldn't have thought about mentioning it to them at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even say it to them like when it happened. I was like, oh, okay, and just kind of went back to my anime.
Really love
Aw.
your style, woman. Yeah, we, you know, that the other day I was talking about how, you know, I have friends that I've had for decades, but they did not go down the road that I did. They didn't go down the road of addiction. You know, they didn't have mental health issues. None of them joined a cult. You know, and I need to negotiate how to better maintain those relationships because I'm so much more comfortable in a room full of addicts, being
Yeah,
honest.
it's the truth. It's the truth. I feel so awkward as soon as I'm in a room full of sober people. It's like, what do I talk about? Like 90% of what I've done in my life is crazy shit. So how do I
Yeah.
have a normal conversation sometimes?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, everything that an addict says makes perfect sense to me.
I
You know,
get
but
it.
you take it into polite company and it's like, okay,
you
that's a thing. You get that.
you feel like you feel like you're the crucifix on fire walking into a bunch of like sober people.
Yeah. Disassociation when things get really tough. Dreams more realistic than reality. That
Yeah.
actually makes sense, Misha.
Yeah.
Group
So that's
hug.
what it would be called, is disassociation?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it can be. It can, you know, vivid dreams can be as a result of.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Not necessarily always, but it can be. So it's maybe something to look at and look into.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a doctor's appointment just to kind of not even so much get a mental health check, but I need it for court as well. So something to mention for sure. Hi, Cosmic.
Hey, Cosmic. Awakened by the looking glasses reflection, we were separated at birth. I feel like I just came home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that for a lot of the people here, though. And, you know, the people that I've connected with on the boat as well, that chat just moves so much faster. It's
Oh,
hard for me to connect with anybody on there. But, you know, the common names that I see back and forth are Quiet Girl even. I'm going to try and reach out to her tomorrow, like on a one-on-one level.
good deal.
Yeah.
That'll be good. I think addicts are oftentimes more open and honest. They have crossed boundaries that others haven't. We can look in each other's eyes and know so much about the other. Isn't that the truth? It is. It just is.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
wish
if
I
we're
knew.
not honest, we can't recover.
You know, I so isolated. I could not be around quote unquote decent company, polite company in my addiction. I could not maintain. I could not deal in normal functioning society. That's and you know, and it's absurd that I thought that I couldn't be an addict because it didn't take very much of substances to, you know, get me, you know, in the state that I was seeking, you know, that state of wanting to be comfortable in my own skin. It
Yeah.
didn't take much. And so that's kind of part of how I kind of played games with myself to tell myself I wasn't an alcoholic or an addict,
Yeah.
you know, and, but it's so isolating. And when you get into a room of people that are recovering, it's like, oh, you guys get me.
Yeah.
I get you.
I'm
It's
not the
very,
only one feeling this way.
that's right. That's right. Tommy is so right when he says the opposite of addiction is connection.
Yes. Yes.
I'm way behind on the chat here.
It's okay.
What's
Cosmic popped in and started going crazy.
We were separated at birth. I feel like I just came home. Okay, let's see. Cosmic Christie, possibly. What's possibly?
I think
No.
somebody had said she needed the sleep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Not saying it is, just an observation. We're talking about the DID,
Yes,
my own experience. Better to be careful and self-aware, not saying it is for you.
for
Yeah,
sure.
100%. Must have needed, and you must have needed the sleep, Mischief says.
Yes.
No, I'm not
I
trying
think
to.
she really did, to be honest. I was getting a little bit worried with her sleep factor lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just get enough sleep. And and sometimes you need more than what the recommended daily allowance of sleep hours is. You know, sometimes you do need that actual go unconscious for a little while to let
Oh, yeah.
the body and the brain catch up, you know.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and the grogginess is worth it for the recovery that you get.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we get to the real of us. We just keep our we just keep we can just be ourselves with other addicts. We don't need to pretend or lie. They're not our family, our parents, bosses. They won't buy our bees anyway.
Yeah, no, we're not going to judge one another. Yeah.
No judgments, no expectations,
Right.
tons of understanding. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And I think it's so strange how the kindest people I've ever met are people in recovery, but yet they are the people who are ostracized so often,
Yeah.
even from the people that they were using with. Oh, you're sober now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no
You
matter
know,
what, from both ends, you're getting ostracized.
there's that. I mean, that's why connection is so important in recovery, because, you know, when you start getting that can be very isolating.
Yeah.
And isolation is one of the worst things for recovery. Ben Turner says, awakened by the looking glasses reflection. Yeah, I'm not an addict, but I'm a codependent with a long history. In 03, I had to go to AA because it was impossible to go to children of alcohol, of CODA. I'm children of,
Drug addiction?
I think so. Addicts
Okay.
are more real. That's true. We kind of don't get a choice. We kind of burn those bridges of getting to be fake.
Yeah. And then we just get to a point where we don't give a shit.
You fainted last night, Cosmic Christie.
I'm worried now.
Now I'm worried. What's going
Yeah.
on? You fainted
Yeah.
last night. Uh-oh.
Okay. She
Are
just
you
got up too quick
okay?
is what it says.
I mean, you're writing to us, so I'm going to assume that means you're at some level of okayness, but I need to know,
Yes.
I need to make sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something to be said about being addicted to us addicts, though. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I mean, we're addictive personalities. It's already been well established.
Mm-hmm.
We can
Mm-hmm.
we can latch on to almost anything.
Yeah. And Christine popped in and is asking for the link.
Okay. You guys, I may have to change rooms. I am freezing.
Don't worry about it. You need to warm up, and that's okay. I just decided I was staying in my pajamas today, so I'm wearing my shawl because I'm not as like dressed up as I normally am, like covered in everything.
All right, so I need to figure out how I'm doing this. I think, will you guys like give me a sec here to kind of reanimate in another room?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Reanimate. I love it.
Okay. Pardon the ceiling.
Well, there's fun light stuff on your ceiling right there, so don't worry about it.
All right. Oh, I need all of this stuff, don't I? If I'm going to take the microphone.
Hello.
Hello, how are you feeling?
Oh,
I just thought I would just come on and even just listen, but
Okay.
you know, not.
You look a bit tired.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, I woke up this morning and I had a headache, and then I was fine, and then I got an emergency phone call and was like, I have to go. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's understandable. It's understandable.
yeah. So now
Just
I'm
try and take care of you a little bit too, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm just kind of I don't know. There's not a whole lot I can say. I mean, there's
Right. Yeah.
It's
you
a
know,
yeah.
I get it.
I've done everything I can do, and
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can distract you for a little bit.
Whoa!
Oh dear. I think she lost the laptop. See? Good distraction. She's losing a laptop. So I'm on the phone with my daughter last night. Wee Man calls us. So she set up a little group chat for us. And I'm trying to like set it up in my stand. And yesterday I'd like tried out the stand on stream and it was good. I'm like, perfect, the phone stays. Do you think I could get the phone to stay in the stand last night? It ended up in the garbage like 3 times.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
Misha, thank you. And I just wanted you to know, Misha, I watched your interview with Tommy on the boat last night. I didn't say anything. I just listened, except at the end. But I wanted you to know that just because I didn't say anything in chat didn't mean that I didn't listen to it. So
yeah. Yeah. Oh, and there's another conversation happening back there, I think. It was out of context. That's all I heard. I'm like, ooh, what context?
My husband's talking to you too. And I'm in the living room.
Okay.
oh, Misha, thank you. Yeah, I am.
You're on?
I am.
Yeah. Still for it. My nose is so cold you can't even believe.
And this it really can't do it. This kind of humidity.
Right.
Turn the heat up, it just doesn't have it, does it?
Well, I did turn it up.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Okay.
I got my fireplace fixed yesterday. It was turns out it was the gas tanks, both of the propane tanks I had apparently have bad valves. So I have to go get those looked at and replaced. Apparently they can replace those. So that's what I need to get done.
Yeah, this should be a fairly easy fix if it's just the valves, to be honest.
Yeah. And I didn't know. I mean, I don't know this stuff. I didn't know you were supposed to cover those things for summertime or whatever, because I only use propane in the wintertime. Oddly enough, most people use it in the summer when they barbecue, but I use it in the winter for my fireplaces because I have 2 fireplaces. And I just didn't think that, something, I didn't think about anything,
No.
bad happened.
No,
But
when you become a homeowner, it's like a whole learning curve, and you're like, wait, every home is different?
Well, and that's the thing is like I owned a home a long time ago, and we had fireplaces, but they were wood burning fireplaces,
Yeah.
which I missed.
Different care.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And so, but I love this one because you just turn it on and push the little button and it lights up.
You have fire.
I mean,
And then
I know.
you don't have ashes and you don't have wood chips everywhere. Yeah.
No,
There-
or
there's something
chimneys
said
I have
for-
to clean out. Yeah. It's I mean, the worst thing I have to do is go unscrew the little thing, swap out the tanks, and screw it back in. But apparently,
It's better than all the lugging of the wood and all of the work. The only thing I love about wood stoves specifically is the smell.
Yeah.
Now please put hot one for real. That's how you do. Please put a hat on. Oh, I love me a good stocking hat, and I wear them all the time. And the thing is,
I sleep in them.
everything in my house is electric. So having propane fireplaces is nice because when it gets really cold, I don't have to turn the heat up as high, so it kind of helps with my electric bill. So I do like that.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, we grew up on wood heat, and I didn't know because we grew up in the country. My nearest neighbor was a mile away. We were like, God, forever away from town. We rode horses everywhere. So I didn't know that not all houses had like fireplace heat, like wood stove heat.
Yeah.
And when I would go to spend the night with my cousin in town, my cousin was like significantly up the financial ladder than we were. But when her central heat would kick on, it would wake me up, and I could never get warm enough. And then when we moved to town, we didn't have the wood burning fireplaces anymore, and it was awful. I know. And now I'm like, oh,
there's nothing that warms you up coming in out of the cold like a fire.
Yeah.
Nothing compares. Nothing beats it.
Truth.
Yay.
Truth.
Rolling.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you go ahead,
Rolling
Chrissy.
Stone, I grew up in Alaska. I live in Maine. I know how to keep warm. I lived in Alaska for a while. I actually lived in Kenai, Sedulna on the peninsula. I lived there during the summertime. My husband just left there, and he left in a blizzard.
Oh my God.
Is he on his job yet?
What's that?
Has he started his new job situation yet?
Yeah. So he's in El Paso, Texas right now, where it was like 75 degrees yesterday. So I think it was like minus 15 when he left in a blizzard, and then he went to El Paso and it was like, in the 70s. He's like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, well, it could probably be all of the time zones and altitude changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to actually respond to the same comment. I'm actually not too far from you, Rolling Stone. I'm just on the other side of the border. That's all.
Rolling Stone grew up in Alaska and she lives in Maine.
Yeah.
I know how to keep warm.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be living right now if you were in Alaska not knowing how to get warm.
No.
Yeah.
Just looking at Alaska makes me cold. Ice checkers was enough. I loved Alaska in the summertime. It was so beautiful. I loved that the sun didn't ever really set. I loved that. But it messed with me so bad the first 2 weeks I was there, because I didn't actually sleep. I would love to be there in the wintertime. Just one winter. I don't think I would want to live there, but I would love to spend a winter there just to say I had and then come back.
Wow.
No.
A wood stove in my garage, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun. For me, I like to do things that challenge me, and be like, oh, I used to tell everybody, remember when Deadliest Catch was a thing? I was like, I want to go work on a crab fishing boat, and everybody's like, oh, God, of course you do. Of course you do. Why would you not? And they're like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't do that. I said, well, I could cook. And everybody's like, well, you can't bake cookies. And I'm like, well, I mean, they're probably not used to great food or good cookies. So we all win. We'll go out to the Bering Sea and catch, yeah. Anyway.
I'm sure that they'd find packaged cookies for you if they were in that much need.
Smuggle in a box and then like put them in the oven and warm them up a little bit and be like,
you can take frozen.
Love it. I love it.
Steve says you can take frozen cookie dough.
There you go. There you go.
They have unrefrigerated cookie dough in buckets.
Yes.
You can buy.
They do them as fundraisers for school here in Canada.
Yeah, they do. That's where we have seen them too. School fundraisers.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
You guys, my nose is starting to thaw out, I think.
That's
Yay.
good.
Whose prophecy is coming true?
Yes, Steve Sure. That's what I call him when he's right. Steve Sure, he's right.
I told her she may have to find a new location.
He did.
For El Meetingo.
For El Meetingo. I like that.
Actually, the lighting of where you're at now is really pretty.
Yeah, this is the living room.
It's nice.
Steve's got the overhead lights on, which I hate. I like low lighting. Resting room, a room to rest in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like without it. Oh, I kind of like that.
Looks good.
Either way, yeah.
Ain't bad.
Yeah.
Turn the other one on and let's see what it does.
Oh, bright.
Well, I mean, it's already bright. So, whoa, hello.
Whoa.
No.
Yeah.
See, that would be too
not quite
difficult
that
on my
much.
eyeballs.
You can see a pin drop on that.
Yeah, that scared me.
Mrs. Schiff said, no snow at Christmas, though, please. I am the designated driver. You know, we haven't had, I grew up in Kansas and Colorado, and one thing that I miss is the snow, just how quiet and peaceful it is when it's snowing.
I know it.
And last year we had snow one day, and I can't remember if it snowed on Christmas Eve and was there for Christmas Day, or if it snowed on Christmas Day. But anyway, it was only around for one day, and that was all the snow we got. But we got down to minus 22 degrees. And this year we haven't had any snow yet. And I'm like, I'm ready for some snow. I kind of want a blizzard. And everybody's like, shh. And I'm like, no, just one really good one. And then it can go. Just in my part of Kentucky. Like, I don't care if it just rains right in or snows in my neighborhood. You know, growing up around it, though, you don't realize how much you miss it, because you're always like traipsing through it, and you're like, this sucks. It's no fun. And then you don't get it, and you're like, oh, I don't really like this either.
I was about to. Yeah.
But I think that's human nature. We don't want what we have, and we don't want what we get anyways.
You know, I think if I lived somewhere where it snowed again, I don't think I would complain about it. I would just be like, oh, okay, well, it snowed. Yay. You know,
we had a lot of snow here last year, more than we usually have. We've had years where we didn't get any snow. But I lived in Southern California for 16 years, and then I spent a year in South Texas, which is even warmer in the winter months than Southern California is. And when I moved back here, it was 4 days before we were set to be married, and the sky dumped 2 feet of snow on us. Arkansas never sees that kind of snow.
3 days.
3 days. 3 days, and we had 2 feet of snow. We never see. I mean, a deep snow here is 10 inches, and we don't get those.
It was 18 or 19 below zero.
Maybe so.
Because our pipe burst.
Yeah, we had a pipe burst. I was working at a customer service call center, and I was taking the calls at home. They had forwarded the phone line to me, and I wasn't on a call, but I was kind of finishing up after a call, and I heard psh, and I knew he had the washing machine going, and he wanted you to see our airy Christmas pinafores.
Oh, that.
The neighbor next door is who actually built this house. She and her husband, and that's who had those sent to us.
Oh, that is adorable.
But yeah, it was 4 days before snow, before the wedding, and I heard that sound, and I went back there, and there's all this water coming in. A pipe had burst. The pipe that was off of the refrigerator. It was connected to a washing machine and all that. He had to punch a hole in the drywall and hold the pipe together with his bare hand. And I got him a can, and somehow miraculously I found the tin cutters so that he could cut the can and wrap it around. And then we had to get hold of the neighbor, who had to shut the water off of the main there. And you know, it's like, as I saw the water coming in, I thought, there goes my manicure for my wedding, you know. And then as the water expands out into the living room and hits the carpeting in all 3 of the bedrooms, there goes the finger sandwiches.
Oh no.
Oh.
I mean, we were already planning a, budget shindig as it was.
Right. Oh no.
No.
Oh.
I can't imagine that. I only dealt with burst pipes once, but I didn't actually live in the home. So my realtor dealt with it, and then the insurance company, and then we sold the house. It was up for sale for like 8 months, but that's what happens sometimes with military moves. Your house ends up staying on the market, you end up moving.
Yeah.
So, and
Oh,
winter
yeah.
came in Winnipeg. So she forgot to turn up the heat. The realtor forgot to turn up the heat, and it burst and destroyed the whole main floor. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a difficult one.
Yeah.
Our house was winterized.
But I tell you, that snow made a beautiful black backdrop for wedding pictures.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I bet. Michael and I, when we got married, it was in January, and we got married in the foothills of Colorado, and it was snowing. We didn't take pictures. So here's the funny thing. We didn't take it. It was just us. We eloped. In the state of Colorado, you don't have to have a preacher officiate. You can marry yourselves by signing parties to the marriage or something like that. So it was just the two of us. But we were up on this like hilltop overlooking a stream. It was in the Poudre Canyon. So we were overlooking the river, and it was snowing, and we didn't take any pictures. There's no pictures of us on our wedding day, but it was okay because that way it was just kind of like our own little secret. Like only we know the exact spot where we got married.
Right on.
And
Oh.
but we did like hike up this side of the thing because Michael just looked at me. He goes, "We're going up there," and I just went right behind him. And now I kind of wish that like we would have at least taken one picture, but
Oh.
but there's no. I keep telling him, I'm like, we're gonna have to renew our vows or something, and like do it in the summertime and have everybody come out and do it in front of family.
Mhm.
Although I don't know, we've had a pretty good run doing it this way, so maybe that'll jinx it. We keep
I have a theory or a hypothesis on vow renewals. Like famous people that you hear about renewing vows, the next thing you know, they're getting a divorce.
Yeah, that's
Like the
kind
last
of
ditch. Let's try to make this stick again. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of just want some pictures. I don't know. Maybe I should.
That makes so much more sense.
But then again, it's hard to get him anywhere where I'm at for very long. So
Yes. Well, maybe you can just like meet him somewhere or do like a destination renewal of vows and everybody comes to the destination.
well, most of his family refused to fly, so it would have to be here.
Gotcha. Well, it was a thought.
So yet another reason why I'm like, maybe we should just be like, well, 10 years.
Or just have a party at your house. Just as simple as that.
Right?
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's okay. Mikey has decided that I need all the extra love today. So you see his nose.
Yes.
He's not going far.
He's not barking.
No, he's not barking right now. I gave him some melatonin to help calm him down. But he's pretty good. He knows when I'm upset, so he kind of just shows up and.
I'm pushing 62, Rolling Stone. Feels like 16 with bad knees. I feel as old as I am. I'm 58. I'll be 59 in 2024. And I feel as old as I am.
Yeah.
I wish I felt 16. That would be nice.
Right. Oh, I gotta go.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. 54, but my bot has gone to pot, and with the exposure to weed killer, and black mold that I'm fighting, working on it though.
Oh my.
Oh, Ben, that sucks.
Yeah. My goodness.
Oh.
Well, hopefully I'll get my shoulder checked this week. My shoulder's definitely making me feel older.
I didn't know you had a shoulder issue.
It happened with a previous incident and then again with the last incident. So, and I also, both of my shoulders, elbows, and wrists dislocated when I was 5 years old. My dad was swinging me around by my arms and pop, pop, pop. So that was the first dislocation, but this shoulder's always been weak, which is my dominant arm on top of it. So yeah, I got to get it checked out.
So you have not had any medical checkout on the things?
I had it checked 2 days after, and nothing's broken, and like couldn't see anything bad in an X-ray. But I have had the procedure where they put, it's like a needle like this long that they stick into the joint, and then another one that they stick into the nerve. So one will glow and one will look darker. So then that way they can see the fluids in my shoulder and they can see the nerves in my shoulder and see where the issue is.
Okay.
Right now I'm thinking it's musculature because my bicep is very tight and there's a spot in my back right underneath my shoulder blade that if I turn a certain way, it feels like my back is going to Charlie horse.
Ouch.
So I think it might have to do a little bit with musculature, even if it's just like, here's a couple muscle relaxants to like get it relaxed. And it actually sounds like they might be getting a massage therapist coming in as like a Christmas present to the ladies.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. And then also just try to get the medical. Well, I'll talk to them about these dreams now too. Like, especially that was confusing. Waking, like having the conversation today. It's like, no, but we did this last night. And she was like, but I didn't work last night. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I thought I had a full-on conversation about like applications and things like that. And nope, it was happening today.
Mischief, I'm past the 60 mark, but I'm young at heart. Didn't start maturing proper until I was 39 when I got sober. I wish weed was legal here. It's not legal everywhere in the States, unfortunately. We Arkansas voted it down to have it legalized. We did get the okay on the medicalization of it, not the recreation of it. So I'm not so much an advocate of legal pot as I am decriminalizing people who imbibe.
Yes.
Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it ought to be like corn or cucumbers or squash. You ought to be able to get the seeds, grow it, screw them.
Some states you can.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Even where I am in the one little country within Canada, everywhere else you can grow it, dry it, smoke it. Like you can go through that process, but not here. If you grow it, you have to dispose of it. You're not allowed to dry it and smoke it. That would be like, and it's decriminalized within Canada, so they can't criminally charge you, but you would get a fine. And if your neighbor wanted to complain and you were going to dry it yourself, you then have to call your home a grow op.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like a grow operation. Like if somebody was to like have like a massive grow op, even if you had one plant, like you would have to like disclose that you grew on the property.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Only the rich can get richer, and the poor people, we just suck. That's
well, we can suck together and just make each other laugh. This is what I'm learning.
It really sucks that that's how the law works on marijuana.
Yeah, it does, because nobody should be going to jail for freaking weed. Are you kidding?
It's a flower, goddammit.
Yeah, and well, grows everywhere, and you can make a fuel out of the oil.
Yep. You can make clothing from the stems and the leaves.
Did you know that cattail will make 1,000 times more alcohol per acre than corn?
I had no idea.
I didn't know that either.
Why are we not growing that instead?
Right.
Well, or why
you need swampy areas.
No, you don't need. You could make use of that swampy area and not change it and continue growing cattail. You don't have to change the environment like you do for organized corporate scale farming.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But
it's the rich getting richer. It's going right back to that point.
It's my I'll talk too long about one of my
right.
What kind of person did you say I was? A conspiracy person?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's with Chevron used to give $20 million a year to PBS. And so in 1982, they offered their $20 million, but they wished to buy a video that was playing about how cattail could produce so much alcohol per acre.
Really?
stipulation. They would continue to give it, but they needed to own that film that it couldn't be broadcast.
Oh my God.
And
That's insane.
the only person that played it was, if you've ever seen the Dukes of Hazzard, the blonde guy, his name was John Snyder. Well, his dad was one of the driest, most boringest, interviewers ever, but he used to have a show. Oh, I forgot what it's called. It was on before David Letterman got the slot.
Okay.
But Tom Snyder played it, I guess, online and on his show, before he finally was gone. And that's where a friend of mine recorded it from, or I'd have never seen it.
Weed makes you really stupid, though. Good thing I started out really smart. Well, I got to look into growing cattails.
I don't like the feeling of being high by weed.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I don't like the feeling of telling people they can't get high either. If somebody wants to do it, they can. Just because I don't enjoy it doesn't mean I should tell people they can't.
Yeah.
I become less of a person on weed. I'm not as capable.
I never liked weed until I actually had messed up my brain on a particular combination of drugs, and I wasn't recovering. So Mandrew's wanting to know what's in the dish. Oh, apple pie. So he just happened to be here, and that pie was there, and it was just too much to pass up.
No, you needed to have some. You needed to share it. And Mandrew's also always been super into food. So when we lived together, we would argue who was cooking. So that I've never experienced again. I had a 9-gram prescription of cannabis, and that's from Mandrew. So in Canada, you can get your prescription as well still, but then it's covered by the government. Now, one thing that I noticed once I moved here is that the highest percentage THC I could get was 39%. And then I was realizing that the medical stuff can be higher than that. And I found somebody who had medical stuff. And I tried that, and I was a zombie, a complete and utter zombie. It's probably why it was so easy to shut down emotions. I would be like, oh, I'm going to go smoke some of that really high THC stuff. I'll be back, and there's nothing left of me by the time I come back.
Yeah, it has gotten a lot stronger, I hear. I don't know experientially. I mean, my last joint was on February 7th, 1994.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely gotten way stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My dad, even the stuff that he's growing on his property, he's like, it's stronger than the stuff I got 10 years ago.
I like knowing smart people so I don't have to be smart.
Just take the information and repeat it somewhere else.
To those of you who are new, I don't do it every time, but when I remember to, I like to say, put a 2 in the chat if you're needing a meeting for anything, and a 3 if you feel like you've had a meeting. And Cousin Christy, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Look like a poodle because I finally washed my hair.
Well, a very pretty poodle, if that helps.
Look,
I'm excited to see Mischief. That'll be great. Come onto the camera to show you my avatar maybe tomorrow. I'm so excited. Well, great.
Yes, awesome. I just wanted to say hello, and I'm fine.
You are. I can tell. You're glowing. You're chipper.
Yeah, no, I pass out all the time if my blood pressure is low.
Oh,
okay.
It's been happening since I was
fainted?
Yeah, it's just because I've been super chill. I was, listening. I'm just happy, and so my heart rate's gone down. My watch hasn't gone off for I don't know, 4 days.
Oh, wow.
So it goes off when my heart goes over, resting heart rate goes over a certain thing. So it hasn't gone off for 4 days. I'm relaxed. So
definitely doing better then.
Yeah. So my heart rate, I've just got to remember okay, now my heart rate's gone back to where it should be. I've got to remember to knock it up quite so quick. So yeah.
Oh, but that's
Yeah, I've had a meeting. I've been here listening. So I back up a bit
Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, my alarm went off because I've got an alarm to make sure I get up, and it went off, and I'm like, I don't have Jaden's work today. Boom. Go back to sleep.
Perfect.
Yeah, like they were saying a bit ago, you probably needed the sleep.
Yeah.
Do you cut your sleep off to be here a lot of times?
No, I normally wake up pretty early. Yeah.
Okay.
Normally I'm up like about 6 o'clock. So, and then I'm like, gotta wait for the meeting. What I'm gonna do? Oh, Tommy's probably gonna be on or something. I've got something to watch. So, yeah. I wake up at early. Or actually, I wake up at 5 so I can take 5:30 so I can take my son to work during the week, and then I'm up early. I love being up early because I get to see the birds, and it's nice being up in the morning. So,
But it's nice to not wake up either and not have that responsibility, which is, what I figured out this morning. I was like, no, I'm going back to bed. I'm going back to bed a few times. I'm like, no, back to sleep.
So I'm a little lost on what Kool-Aid a Rolling Stone is talking about.
I think she's talking about Mandrew's concentrates that he's getting. It's 90% THC.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too much.
So that would be a heart attack for me.
I had a question about your question mark after the 3, Rolling Stone.
3?
Just what?
Oh, yeah.
I can answer a question I want to.
Oh, she means that she would like to contribute to the channel. Well, you're already contributing to the channel, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm not monetized yet, so there's no way to do any contributions on YouTube. I did start a Patreon because I had one other person that had said that they wanted to support the channel.
What about a grab me a coffee for Need a Meeting? Because you can do the grab me a coffee.
And I've contributed to people, some of my favorite content creators through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe use that until you're monetized.
Maybe so. If you guys want to, I mean, I'm not doing this because I want to be monetized.
No.
But it would help because I am paying for streaming service and art services and that kind of thing.
There's an overhead cost still.
Yeah. And
exactly.
And not being employed, that does, I have a little left over, a little that I'm kind of coasting on, but I don't know how long I'll be able to coast on it.
I know that one.
Okay.
I got some applications not in because it's Saturday, but at least filled out today. So ideally things will go well with those. So, and did plan B and C because I only had a plan A and I was like, I'm going home and that's it.
Okay. So if you're wanting to know how to come in to and talk on the screen like this, I have a link that I try to post it periodically through the meeting, and I'm posting it now. And if you click on this link that I just posted, I'm Carol Klingon Targherder. Then you'll show up on my screen over here, and I can toggle you into the meeting room.
Yes.
In a Rolling Stone, I reckon, also going to the old folk stones, listening to their stories.
Yes. Yes.
Elderly, stop in at a local old folks home, bring cookies, they will love it.
But it's true, they do, because a lot of them, they just dumped there by their family and they don't get seen,
I didn't have time to do it this year, but Rowan and I for the last 2 years have done Christmas cards, handmade Christmas cards. And we'll do 15 and then we'll ask for the names of people who don't have family who visit them and send the cards to the old age home for them.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's lovely. Because my friends work in aged care homes.
Okay.
So yeah, they see a lot of people who don't have family, and it's pretty sad. So yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Although some of them are pretty mean, so you can understand why the family doesn't come visit them.
Yeah.
It's like maybe if you bit your tongue a little, then you would end up getting family and friends here.
Yeah, but
but they've lived through so much. I don't blame them for having a voice. You know what I mean? Just wanting to use it.
Yeah, and also dementia does things to people.
It does.
So,
It does.
Behavioral.
Yeah, Steve, as a CNA, certified nursing assistant, worked at a in the Alzheimer's dementia ward of a veterans retirement home.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, they
Oh.
did this thing. I don't know where they did it, but they built like a town.
Not kidding.
And they
Okay,
just
I apologize, Rolling Stone. Not kidding. I worked at an old folks home. They are wonderful people. We need to love them. We do. We do.
Yeah, but like they built this old town and they let the old people with Alzheimer's and stuff just live out their memories, and instead of like trying to make them force them into remembering over and over again that they're living in the present, they just let them live in the past, and it worked out really well and they were happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's somewhere where they lived in. They set an old folks home up like a mall where they could go where they thought they
Yeah,
were.
I've seen that.
And that had a really good effect on people.
Wow.
Yeah. Instead of re-traumatize them over and over again, saying, this person's died, this, they just let them.
Let them waste away. Yeah, with no interaction. My mom was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia.
Oh, wow.
And
that's a very fast one, and it goes after the organs too, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's been mistaken for Parkinson's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay. I'm having the wrong one in my head.
Yeah, that's what Robin Williams had, and he was diagnosed as Parkinson's. And
it's based.
But she was, before COVID, she was exercising twice a week, literally going to an exercise place. She was going to the library. She was going to play bridge at the senior club every day. And as long as she was staying engaged, you would never know she was diagnosed with dementia. In fact, 5 years after her diagnosis, I went with her to her follow-up where they kind of reevaluate. And I actually called them and asked them to reevaluate, because are you sure she has dementia? Because she's pretty sharp. But staying engaged,
Yeah.
I think
we're working the brain muscle.
Well, they say that, doing crosswords and all that sort of stuff helps your brain.
And almost like your brain is atrophying in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why they say
there's any
loneliness.
research to back that up, but
that's why they say loneliness is quite bad for the brain, because you don't get to talk.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the interaction, the connection.
Yeah.
So
grateful for this.
So
it's dog's bollocks. My grandson said that to me the other day. Got to stay down with the kids.
So British.
I love it.
Does that mean? I don't want to say what that means. Never mind.
It's the cat's meow, only now it's the dog's bollocks.
Yeah, but when I was,
because I'm just looking at the context. So grateful for this group.
It's like banging, which means good. It means good.
Banging means good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no, I keep up with all the good stuff. It's like sometimes when I used to sneeze at the checkouts, I'd go choo. Which is dabbing. So yeah, and then my kids would stop doing it, because it's no longer, once I do it, it's no longer cool.
It's no longer cool.
Yeah. So I know all the tricks.
Yeah.
And I can do the Fortnite dance. So
the floss.
Yeah, I can do the floss. Yeah. So and then they'd stop doing it. So I was like,
oh
yeah.
I tried once and I failed horribly. I'm like, sorry, kids, never happening again.
I teach the kids how to do it. Hang on, no,
oh my God, that's
it's
amazing.
like this. Well, I used to be a dancer until I fell off a stage.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did like Broadway musical type things, and
oh wow.
Yeah, I got
So just another reason why we're sisters on the other side of the planet. I did music theater for 3 years at band camp.
Yeah. Oh no, I did jive and ballroom dancing and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Thing.
Yeah, you're coordinated. I'm not.
I'm not coordinated at all. That's why I fell
No.
off the stage. I learned by repetition, and they moved me. They moved because someone wasn't able to show up, and they moved me to the front. Now, I'm like a back of the stage person. I would never wanted to be the star of the show. And yeah, they put me at the front. I'm like, I know the movements because it's all repetition, but I also used to follow the people in front of me because
Yes.
I don't have visual memory. So I'm just like, but I know repetition. As long as I kept doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
And yeah, they put me at the front, and I wasn't, and the bright lights, you know, I was, anyway, off the front I went, and I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
laying on the floor, cackling, you know, in front of heaps of people. I thought it was funny. Nobody else did. Anyway.
At least you were able to laugh at yourself.
I always laugh at myself. Like, you know, there was one time, I don't know if anyone knows what a Honda Odyssey is. I think it's a Honda.
Yes.
But it's
Yeah.
like a little, like a little racing thingy with a cage. I was using the accelerator full on and using the brake to slow down, you know, every now and then. And I went past the house going, Dad, help me. Jumped the driveway, went up the hill, trying to slow down up the hill, going, how do I slow this? How do I stop this? Because there's no pedals. And yeah, went up the hill, down the hill, rolled it down the hill, going, oh no, oh no. There's a cage, I'm fine. I was 16 and broke a big branch like this, and I was hanging upside down going, thinking it was hilarious. And I was like, hey, because I was like, I'm a bat, because I was hanging upside down. I'm like, I'm a bat. And I was like, I'm going to get in so much trouble. And they're like, help me, because I was like in a big orchard. And I was like, they're never going to find me. I was like 2 trees away from the house, but I couldn't see the house because it's like facing away. And I'm like, help me. I'm a bat.
Oh my God. I can just see you right now doing it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a bat. Help me.
Oh my
Yeah. And then like they all come running because they think I'm dying, because I'm like, when I'm laughing, when I'm really, really, really laughing, I sound like I'm crying. And I was like, I'm a bat. Yeah. And everyone comes and like, are you all right? I'm like, no, because I'm a bat.
Oh my God. Now I'm laughing, crying.
Yeah. It was so funny. Yeah, no, it was a pretty good day that day.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Can you do the Gay Gordons? She says, yes, it really is a Scottish dance.
Well, I used to do folk dancing, so I'm pretty sure we probably did it, but we probably didn't call it that. You know, being Australia and all.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, no, I did a lot of dancing, and I actually still dance all the time now. Like, but not. I can't remember any of it. Like, I can probably, if I actually want to start doing like the salsa and all that sort of stuff.
Right on.
And I signed up for pole dancing, and then I got sick. Like pole dancing class dances, but just to get out there, and it's only for women. But yeah, just to get out there and start living again rather than just stuck in my house.
Right on.
But then I got sick.
Exercise is really good for your brain. It's really good it's good for a lot of things. I need to get out and start walking or doing something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I have to wait now. And I don't think it's broken. I think it's just tendons, because now I've got this on. It's so much better. Huh? No, not yet.
Okay.
No, it was so hot yesterday. Every time I walked outside, it was like a slap in the face. So I'm going to wait. We've got a heat wave on. So I'm just hoping that this helps, and it's reminding me that it hurts.
is
It's
our
Yeah.
winter. Yeah.
during the period when they're closest, apogee, closest to the sun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're
Yeah. I think it's so
our
hot.
winters are in our summer, but our hemisphere is tilted away. So the light
Okay.
stretches out farther. So
Okay.
it's winter.
Okay.
Astronomy.
Yeah. So you're gonna have have you had your longest day yet?
Yeah, that's in the summer. That's June. That's in
Oh no,
June.
no, your shortest day. Sorry, have you had your shortest day
It's
yet?
coming up. It's on it's usually the 21st.
4 days.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's in about 4 days. So we're right at that level of the short.
Yeah.
We're right
So
at.
it's gonna just start getting hotter and hotter for us. So, right until February. Actually, it lasts for ages. So, and it's El Nino year, so it's going to be even hotter this year. So,
Of course.
yeah, I don't think I say it right, especially with my still a little bit nasally. But,
There's
I love
also
that.
La Nina.
yeah,
El Nino.
I love that. Yeah,
no-
well, it's El Nino over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
In El Nino in California bring a lot of storms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get drought, and then La Nina brings
Okay.
us the rain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So one will bring the moisture and the other one will bring the droughts.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and we had La Nina for like, way longer than we normally do. So
Yeah.
What the
My
difference?
goodness.
yeah,
We have the El Nino and the La Nina. It depends on, one's the maximum and one's the minimum, but they're the same something or another.
yeah. So we're in droughts. We're going to be in drought now for a while. So because we had lots of rain. But
Yes.
yeah, it is what it is. You know, weather, climate change, blah blah blah.
Here's how you know it's winter at our house. See that's actually a door, and those are like 20,000 pairs of coveralls.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's winter at my house. That's because I'm sitting in front of the aircon because I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dance around the house too.
Yeah.
You know, because I've always done it like with my kids and stuff because you know it brings joy and it raises the vibration and it does something like chemicals in your brain as well.
Mhm.
So, and listening to happy music and being
Yeah.
joyful, it just you know I actually talk about this with my counselor. I fake it till I make it as far as being happy. Like if I pretend to be happy, eventually I am.
Okay.
Like I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do things that make me happy. So I'll listen to music or I'll, you know, come to this group because this always makes me happy. And you know, just anything that makes me happy, at least one thing a day. And then like especially before I go to sleep, at least one thing that makes me happy. And then I wake up in the morning and I step outside. I'm never gonna stop. It's always gonna happen. So Sasha gets it.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I just wake up and I'm like, I'm going to be happy today. And because I've spent so much time being miserable that I force myself to be happy. And then eventually I am. Then I wake up thinking like, I am actually happy.
See, but there's a difference between faking it until you make it and what I think you're saying. Faking it till you make it is just literally just pretending you're happy, and eventually just expecting to do nothing but just pretend that you're happy to make you happy. What I see that you're doing is you're implementing the things that make you happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't quite see it as fake it till you make it, but I understand, you know, how you're saying it like that. But I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm doing things that make me happy. I'm not just like pretend. Well,
Yes.
I guess I pretend, but you know, I do it in my own house as well when nobody else is around. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody wants to be around a sad sack all the time.
I used to really love to dance, and when my brother beat me up in 2018, and I said that I've said it several times that it changed me on a molecular level. I felt like I lost that joy of dancing, And so it became a mental exercise, and that's miserable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it might be that what I need to do to get that back is just turn on some music every single day and just do it, whether it feels stupid or not stupid, or, you know, just.
Well, what's one song that always used to get you dancing?
There are a lot of them. In fact, I have a playlist on YouTube that's all my favorite dance stuff. I can just put that on every day. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm a terrible dancer.
You're not a terrible dancer.
I am the worst, Earth's worst dancer.
He is not either.
Every dictionary on Earth says bad dancer and my name and picture.
No.
There's a song that my son showed me, and it's called I'll share it in the it's kind of modern, but it's called Dancing and Kronos Remix or something like that. And my son said that he liked it, and it's called Dancing, and it's like dancing moves my soul. It's what makes me whole. And I just can't not dance to it. Like even in the car, I'm like, dancing makes me whole. Dancing moves my soul. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. I always dance like nobody's watching. Like when I used to go to the clubs, I'd be the first out on the floor because, you know, I was really like, when's someone going to get out there?
Yeah.
I used to be that
All
way
right,
too.
let's
I totally used to be that way too. Yes,
Yeah.
a Rolling Stone. My brother did. It was 10:30 in the morning. He barged into my house. I saw him coming up the sidewalk. I saw the look in his eyes. I'd grown up being beaten up by him, and so I knew it wasn't going to be good. My instinct was to shut the door, and I know that he knew that I was thinking that, and he flew into the door so as to not give me the chance to shut the door and lock him out. He came in screaming and yelling, backing me into a corner, until I started, you know, fight or flight kicks in, and I start kind of yelling up at him. And he used that as an excuse to start punching. And this was in front of my then 91-year-old mother, who was not wheelchair, but walker dependent and stuck in a recliner, nowhere to go. And yeah, it was a bad scene. It was a really bad deal. And whatever his sick, twisted brain thought he had justification for doing that wasn't real. There was nothing going on in his mind that was real. He told himself a big, fat, ugly lie that he would have a reason to go find somebody smaller than him, and like he used to like to do.
Everything on top of something else.
And so that's kind of it in a nutshell. And it hit so different because I had put so many years and so many miles of distance between myself and him, you know, hoping that he would get the clear message that I'm not going to be your punching bag anymore.
Yeah.
And when it happened as an adult in my own home, barging into my own home, it hit so different. And I've not really been able to recover the person that I knew myself to be since then. And it's getting better. And I feel like these meetings are helping.
Good.
You know? Yeah, because I really actually kind of liked the person with all my screw ups and my hang ups and all that stuff. I liked who I was before. For a long time, I did not like the person I had become at all.
Yeah.
And that was so foreign to me. Someone I could not find any recognition of. And
Well, I'm happy that you're starting to feel a little bit of that older self again.
I'm starting to climb my way back to whatever the new me is going to be, the new normal, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm discovering too. I think we're all trying to discover that. What is the new me after whatever the last thing was, the last ripple.
Right. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate that.
I kind of feel the same, you know, like I'm never going to be who I was before, but I don't think that's entirely such a bad thing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was like an only child with 3 parents because my brother was so much older than I was, and
I would hate to be bossed around by my brother. Although
right.
he tried, but I wouldn't let it happen.
But my brother was 11 years older than me, so I was still a little kid when he was a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
My brother's not that much older than me. He still tries to boss me around, and like anything he tells me to do, I'm like, no. But that's because that's our sort of relationship.
Yes.
He can give me all the advice in the world, and I'm still going to do the opposite because my brother told me to do it. That's just who I am.
It's like, don't touch the red button, and then you touch the red button.
Yeah, well, if he tells me to touch the red button, I'm going to be like, what, this button?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hated it too, Misha, but like I said, I'm coming into whatever my new normal is, and I'm going to learn to like that person too. It took a long time to like the person I was before. You don't grow up in an abusive situation like that and not have some hangups like that.
The night before her brother died, the police had come to our house, and I had dreamed of seeing a dead body on the side of the road a few blocks from the house that we used to live in. And then the police showed up to tell us a story, and it was me seeing that her brother was dead before he died.
Wow.
When the police came here to tell us about it.
Oh, gosh.
My brother was here, and of course, he doesn't like to tell police anything. Don't tell them you had a dream. They're going to think you were. It's like, man, he died of a heart attack because of his actions and the inability to work around other ways to communicate. He had to have everything stripped from him.
Yeah.
His home is everything, and
yeah, that was the question: is did he ever get punished or at least ostracized? We were in the city of Springdale. So if you ever hear me say Springdale suck it, which I'm saying now, Springdale suck it, they are in the dark ages as far as, things like that. A woman getting beaten, it's just domestic violence. How's domestic violence when he didn't even live there with us? He lived in a town nearly 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
If someone gets to barge into your own house and do that to you, and it's just I don't even. Oh.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
The police angle in that community is complicated by there are some high immigration levels in Springdale.
That's not it. It's stupid. It's stupid good old boy network.
It is good old boy, but they have lots of multifamily homes.
Yeah.
They do, where lots of adults are living in homes, very complicated. It doesn't make it right.
No.
It makes it suck more. But
the only jails that he actually served was for a failure to appear in court over it.
Okay.
They didn't put him in jail for coming into my house and nearly killing me.
Well, had I not interfered, I don't know what would have. Had I not, but I didn't escalate the fight. Had I escalated the fight, I now know he probably would not have been able to be ejected from the family farm, and we wouldn't be living here because it would have given grounds to his actions.
Yeah.
Being a certified nurse assistant is just you're a butt wiper. I mean, in the homes, but everything that can go wrong as far as you see all these injury law firm commercials that happen in nursing homes and stuff, because some of the aides they're not good. They're terrible. And a lot of times they call in and when they need 10 people, they have 6 on staff. And you take an in-service about every 30 days. And usually the in-service is an education about abuse and how no matter what happens, if you're pushing a patient and another patient comes out of a door and you don't see them, but they're pushing you, And in order to keep falling over, you right yourself. But by righting yourself and keeping the patient you're caring for from receiving injury, the third party patient receives injury, whatever it means, even if they're falling of their own accord because you're already holding up another resident, helping them ambulate or locum, or move around. Everything is your fault. So her mother couldn't stand by herself.
Mm-mm.
Once you got her walking on a walker, she could take herself to the bathroom. She could come out of the bathroom. She couldn't get up and down from her recliner by herself. So she's in this recliner witnessing this. And the only thing that's through my head is I have to stop the fight and get him out of the house. Instead of grabbing like the fireplace tools, and starting to go for injury or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a difficult mindset because generally if you're in a domestic dispute in this country as an aide or something and that comes out, you could actually lose your job.
Yeah, he could lose his license if he fought back at the level that he would normally
Would have had to. Yeah.
I think it's the same here.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same here too. It is.
So, and I'm really glad that he didn't go to the fireplace tools and do the damage that he could have done. I don't think my brother ever had a concept of this man goes to some scary places,
I'd say so.
If you awaken that bear, it's going to be scary because he's not going to be maniacal. He's going to be very calm, very deliberate, very methodical.
Well, rough people usually have some breaks because they fight a lot or may fight a lot or may have a lot of confrontation. And they can buff up. And people that are mild that finally get mad, they're like the psycho that goes nuts and stabs someone 19 times or cuts someone, or you don't have breaks until you can see that there's no more traveling to go on. It's not a good place to put yourself.
Yeah.
No.
So he was able to keep his head, and I'm glad.
It was not good.
Even though it would have been pretty satisfying to see him get some comeuppance in
even
that
out
way.
the door, though, I was telling him, that he's got to talk about it. He's got to figure something out, even though he had to leave our house.
Mm-hmm.
But the police came back, and after 24 hours, they can't do nothing. It has to happen.
Springdale ordinances.
Oh.
That's another suck at Springdale.
It really
Oh,
is.
my Lord.
So he came back the next day, but we just had to call the police to have him. He never came in the house.
Yes.
Yeah. They just had to all they could do was just tell him that he couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he had a divorce about 6 months earlier and was carrying a lot of things on his back.
He couldn't beat his wife anymore, so he needed somebody.
Yeah.
When he came up
Needed his narc supply.
Yeah. When he came up that sidewalk, whatever the issue was, he wasn't interested in knowing any kind of truth about anything. He was looking for somebody to hurt, and he had told himself a tale that would justify in his mind how I was the appropriate candidate.
His wife was smaller than Carol.
Yeah.
Carol's, let's see, 10 minus. Carol might be 9 stones, which is 120 pounds, 8, something like that. And I bet her sister-in-law's 100 pounds on her heavy day.
Yeah.
And she's nothing, she's just, what is that? 48 kilograms, something like that. That's not very heavy. It's light.
Yeah.
We're alone, Carol. Did we knock everybody off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have missed a lot of
Yeah.
the same as public school and boys in England. God, this is why.
Yeah, they're like the old school, they get away with a lot because they're like a private school, I guess you'd call them.
Oh, private school is terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Like Eton is one of the private schools, and like that's where like Prince Charles and Prince Harry and all went to school and stuff like that.
Lots of bullying, I think, goes on there.
Yeah, I'd say so. And then they grow up to be bullies who expect everything in life. Yeah, so they just get everything handed to them on a literal.
Yeah, and feel justified in being angry when it doesn't happen. That was him. That was my brother.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring all that up. I don't even know why. Because we were talking about dancing, and I want to get my dancing back.
I am the worst. There's no one worse on earth.
There's no such thing as a bad dancer. You just have to get out there and move your body, and it feels good.
I get out there and do stuff, but I am aware of how pathetic. But I go out there.
He's really cute when he dances.
Yeah. You know what? Anyone
really cute.
No.
It just as long as you're expressing joy. Have you ever seen expressive dance? There's like a thing called expressive dance. It's just movement to the music. So,
there's a Dancing with the Stars judge, and I always make a comparison when she's critiquing each dance. I was like, I know you're a good lifeguard with a lot of experience, and you saved me from drowning, and you even, were able to resuscitate me without having to CPR. But if you could have just held my neck a little differently and maybe given me a little different, angle in the water as we were coming free. I mean, she cannot give a compliment. I forget which girl it is. I think she was the one that was on the show with the two twin boys on Nickelodeon. But she, every time she judges, there's no compliment that she can ever give the dancers. It's always like she's just been saved by a lifeguard and she's critiquing how he could have done better. Saving her life.
Yeah. I can't watch those shows. They're so mean.
They are mean.
I used to like, what was that dancing show in the 80s? It was kind of like it, but they were much more fair.
American.
No, I'm talking 80s.
Oh,
I'm talking the previous incarnation of human beings. And
that's, you know what? If you have fun, Ben Turner, who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
I used to not care what I looked like. I just enjoyed it. And
I don't care what I look like when I'm out on the dance floor. I know I'm just out there like, what's her name? Kate Bush. Do you know Kate Bush?
Yeah, I do.
I kind of, sometimes I must be out there like dancing like Kate Bush because I'm out there just moving to the rhythm of the music and I don't care. I close my eyes and just move. Yeah. But I'm the first one out on the dance floor and then all of a sudden I open my eyes and there's other people out on the dance floor.
Wee man.
Yeah. Hey, wee man.
Hey, wee man. Hey, superhero.
Yeah. So, but it's just joy, it's just an expression of joy and happiness. And it just, it's this expression of joy, I guess. So, but then like, if I don't like a song, I just walk off.
I like listening to the music.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do that at home. So,
that's Misha.
Yeah. I can't help it.
Mm-hmm. But at home, I tend to just listen.
I'm disturbing this meeting, Carol.
You're fine.
I have to quit being the
diversion.
I always divert the purpose. Not really.
No, you don't.
I was doing bills before, catching up on anything I need to put in the post office.
I love that, Misha. I have no rhythm, no grace, LOL, but get me in my gypsy gown and put on some soul moving frequencies. I turn into nature and love and all things good. I believe that.
What do they call the mail in Australia? They call it the post? Do they call it parcel?
No, we call it post office.
Post office, yeah.
The young man in the red cap is Mr. Targherder, Steve, my husband.
Yeah.
He crashes our meetings sometimes, and it's always fun.
Yeah, it is.
I'm 54, be 55. It goes by fast.
Yeah, it does. I'll be 44 on New Year's Eve.
Wow. New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I remember 44.
That's funny.
It's a while back.
Let's hear it.
What is it?
Well, I'm trying to get it to come up. Come
Somebody
on,
going to play a song?
Let's hear it for Steve and for the Steves in our lives. Yes. We love you, Steve, and it's good to restore our faith in men. Yeah.
Yes, and little Steve.
I am pretty lucky. I really am. I like you pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a keeper. He truly is a keeper. 44 babies?
I'm 44.
Oh,
I'll be 44.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm 58. So
You don't look anywhere near 58.
Well, thank you. I don't know why, because I sure feel it.
I feel like, oh gosh, because I've been sleeping on the couch.
I'm the baby in my family. My closest brother is the same age as Carol. And
Yep.
I have another brother older.
Yes, Ben. We are both Trekkies, big time. He'll even watch like the Trek fan films, like the bad actor, like monotone. I mean,
the Trek.
That's how into Star Trek this one is.
The Trek fan films need some preservation. There was, gosh, in the late 90s to early 2000s, they started putting out, gosh, they were called the Helena Chronicles, and they were terrible special effects. And the acting was par, but the plots were fantastic.
Yeah, they were good. I got to say that the ideas and the plots were
in
good.
The early to mid 2000s, the fan films got really retro. They used the original Enterprise set and style of effects and costumery, but they were really good. If you look up Star Trek fan films, there's some pretty good ones.
Yeah, I mean, there are some ones where they actually can act in them.
There are about 20 that really feel like you're watching an old Star Trek episode. Star Trek Phase 2 and New Voyages. There's about 10 episodes of each. And it feels like you're watching an old Star Trek. But there's a couple of them that feel like you're watching some Southern Alabama geeks. They have Southern accents in there. And the special effects are painted cardboard. It's really, but the story is pretty good. So I watch them all.
Did you, there's that most recent one they put out with that, the Queen of the
Queen?
Yeah. Bull Creed. I love that.
I did too. I thought that was neat.
I thought Renegades was good too.
We watched Discovery, and what is the other one?
Renegades was the one that was online.
Oh yeah, but
and it had like
thanks, Michelle.
Like a lot of the actors, like
right,
Koenig. Is that his name that played?
Yeah, but I'll need
Nuclear Vessels.
Yes, I'll need three computers to come up with any names of anybody because to look up someone's name in a show. I have to look up a show I know they were in and go to cast, then go into IMDb and look at all the other movies they did, then pick them out, and then come back to someone with what that person's real name is.
And I think
his name isn't Chekhov.
I know, but he was
Matt
in Renegades also. Didn't they have Harry Kim, the Harry Kim actor, doing in Renegades? Have I got the right one?
I think he might have been in there, but I don't know if he was in there. I think it was they had Uhura. Was in there.
That's right.
Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one.
But I can't remember anyone's name. It takes me 15 minutes of searching to come up. Like, if I want to find out someone from the cast of Friends, I can't remember Jennifer Aniston. Contact. I have to look up Friends and go to cast, and then I can look up and find their name.
Well, see, I always go to Wikipedia and go to cast and go be like, while I'm watching the show and be like,
the guy from Mythbusters.
I need to give Wikipedia $3. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm constantly looking at people on Wikipedia because, also if you watch it on, I think I don't know if it's Prime or something. And if you watch it on your device at the same time while you're watching it, it shows who the actors are while you're watching it.
Oh, that's cool.
I
Yeah.
like Star Wars too, Mischief.
Yeah.
I'm not so much into Star Wars.
I
My brother ruined that for me.
There are a lot of Star Wars fan films too, and they're 50-50. Some of them are good.
Yeah, no, my brother ruined Star Wars for me because he talks about it all the time. And I'm like, nah. But I do like the baby Yoda thing or whatever it is. The baby.
First Contact
That's
is a
cute.
Yeah. The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that one. I haven't watched it, but I just think it's cute when I see it in stores. I'm like, I want one of those.
I'd rather watch it than talk about it. Kind of like baseball. It's supposed to be the American sport, but I'd rather play it than talk about it or watch it. It's just
Yeah, same with cricket. I hate cricket. Like, it's so boring to watch, but I like to play.
But it's not fun to watch. I mean, people can say it's
Yeah.
kind of fun. Basketball is a fun sport to watch. Can be. Because it does move pretty quick, but
Same here, Misha.
I have to I can't watch it usually.
Nah.
I didn't think that I was marriage material. I'm barely marriage material as it is, but
I'm not marriage material.
I did not think that I would ever get married. Once I realized
Definitely not.
once I realized what a weirdo I was, I just didn't think it. Once it dawned on me, the reality, I just didn't think that I would be able to get married, but I found another.
Well, I'm constantly told how weird I am, so I'm just like, oh well. I just think I'm just better off alone. So,
These are my boots that I glue back together.
He was gluing his shoes back together. He was gluing 25-cent garage sale shoes together on our first date.
They still looked good.
Well, reuse, recycle.
That's right.
I had bought them 2 years earlier for 25 cents at a yard sale. Not just a recent yard sale purchase.
Oh, that's good for the environment anyway. Reuse, recycle.
It really is. Like saving the butter dishes. At least use them up and throw them away. Put something in them that destroys them and then throw them away.
Nothing else to do. I mean, it is what it is.
What is that?
We embrace the weirdness around my parts. Yep.
Well, I'm lucky that all my friends are pretty weird too. So,
You should show a picture of the chair we made for your mom.
Oh, the chariot?
Yeah. I made Carol's mom a chair out of an old toddler trailer that you hook to a bicycle. And I took a metal chair with the broken legs and cut it flat and set it in there and put a handle for a lawnmower backwards for her feet to rest on. And then it has 3 bicycle tires and they have air in them, and
we could wheel her all over this farm in that thing.
Yeah,
she loved it.
We took her everywhere around the farm. We only have 10 acres, so we don't have to go far. But the wheelchair would just sink in the ground and was going nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Actually, my male parent made we had like this big, remote controlled truck, and he made this little cart thing that my little baby sister could ride around on, and we used to ride her around the backyard.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was really cool. None of us else could do it, but it was so much fun watching her little face as she would ride around the backyard.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was just so much fun. And, you probably wouldn't be allowed to do that sort of thing these days. Someone would walk past going, child danger.
Oh, child endangerment, and then you'd have to have a weekly meeting to see if you were still being safe.
Yeah, you'd have to put a harness on it or something. And she was just sitting there going, she fell off a couple of times. My brother would make her go too fast and go over some bumps and stuff. But, but she was just still laughing. She thought that was hilarious too. So,
We learned to ride bikes at 4 years old. My brothers kept pushing me down until I learned.
Yeah, well, I learned to ride a bike. My first day without training wheels, I got the speed wobbles going down a hill and went down this gravel thing, and all this side of my face and all that sort of stuff had gravel rash. I couldn't go to school for a month. Awesome. So, yeah.
That makes it better.
yeah. So, first thing I did, got back on the bike, rode it, learned not to get the speed wobbles. You just got to back. Those are the days you just had to back pedal instead of having brakes.
Right. Well, my first bicycle, the pedals didn't stop pedaling. It teaches you to pedal. So the pedal always pedaled.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. No, this one was like you just had to like back pedal and it would. Yeah. So that you just had to back pedal and it would stop it. But I didn't figure that out until.
Call that a clutch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was like a really old-fashioned bike. So it's really cool. I've got a picture. I've got a picture of me. I'll actually post it in the group later. But I've got a picture of me on the bike the first day without training wheels before I fell down the hill.
I met the superintendent by having a wreck. His son was 2 years older than me, and I was following the boys jumping down by the school and going down the steps. Well, I wasn't as good a judge. So when I jumped down, I went straight over the handlebars and hit the wall. And he had to take me up. And I thought I was in trouble. I wasn't in trouble. He didn't care. But he had to give me a ride home to my parents. And I thought, boy, am I going to be in trouble? Because I'd never met the superintendent. I knew he was, the big guy. But it just went down in the stories to tell about mischief and boys.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is that because I went down this gravel road, it must have been like maybe 4 or 6 houses down from my house, but I hadn't met these neighbors. And like, okay, we're going to take you home because I think I blacked out and I woke up because honestly I pass out so easy. And they were trying to get me in the car. And I'm like, no, stranger danger, because I'd just learned about stranger danger at school. And they couldn't get me in the car, so I had to call my parents. And the parents came and picked me up. So at least even in my state, I would not get in a stranger's car.
Well, that's good.
Right on.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but my brother likes to tell me that story all the time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
In 1973 or 4, when I was first riding my bike, I would ride all over our little town. I don't know if my mother had any idea how far I would go. What do you say?
My brothers and I took a brass bed and took it down the hill in front of my house. Sadly, the steering didn't occur to us.
No, I bet you had some.
That's like from bed knobs and broomsticks.
I mean, can you imagine? Our town used to have bed races every year. I don't know if it was a fraternity or something, but every Spring Fest, there would be a bed race to start the event. And different organizations would build this from regular bed to very modified bed and race it downhill. And most all of them crashed and most all of them broke.
Did they have steering?
Some did, but some didn't. Some were just let her rip, The steering was leaning. But
yeah, I guess,
You could have a runner.
This way, lean that way. It's like catamaraning.
To have a runner pushing you too. It was like the Benny Hill wheelchair races.
No, what's that music? I can't remember the Benny Hill music right now, but yeah.
Oh, he was hilarious.
I love the wheelchair races because it was the nurses pushing people in wheelchair race. Oh man. His mind was really strange. I loved it.
It's funny because when because I've been to hospital a few times and I'm always like, so because we always end up like being wheeled next to someone else who's being wheeled. I'm like, so can we have a race? And so my orderly's like, all right, let's go. Woo!
That's for sure.
You've always got to make light of everything, I reckon.
That's it. Helps you get.
Yeah, we're nearly at 3 hours. Does everyone feel like we've had a meeting?
Yeah.
Our goats.
I would say 3 hours.
Feel like we had a meeting.
Yeah, our goats do feel like we've had a meeting. And the donkey, Jet.
Oh, you've got a donkey?
Yeah, he is so cute. And
I love Donkey so much.
he is just the right amount of rascal.
His original name was Jack.
Yeah, that's so unoriginal.
And Carol changed it to Jet, and she could have changed it to Ass, and we just could have called him Ass to. She doesn't think it's a that would be popular.
I think it's funny.
Come here, Ass. That's a creature.
Dogs are some of my favorite people too.
Dogs are the best people. That's actually an Australian song. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
dogs are.
Classic.
Teenage Diplomat. Did you know that was a Bruce Springsteen song originally? One of my favorite albums of all time is the E Street Shuffle, and Blinded by the Light was on that album, and he does it at a much different pace and tempo, and Manfred Mann turned it into a completely different song.
Come on, Carol.
Anyway,
And my son shows me plenty of gratitude. Like, you know.
they don't.
But
they don't
I'm lucky in that regard.
like children. They cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Manfred Mann. Yeah. 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 The Blinded by the Light is not one of my favorite songs on the album, but I do like it.
I think it's funny. It's like blinded by the light, wrapped up like a something, another something in the night. I know what it is now, but I never.
Like a deuce.
A deuce. Okay, well,
Another.
I always just think it was like wrapped up like a douche, another
Yeah. No, it's not
something.
that.
well, it still doesn't have a much better meaning.
Yeah, it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
A lot of people, when they say deuce, they mean going number 2. So
I think a deuce is something to do with poker.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. The whole song doesn't make sense. I'm just like blinded by the light every time someone turns a light on.
these are my dog snacks. It's an apple.
Ah,
We're gonna have to make up for keeping them waiting so long.
yes. Are we going to do something or just do the?
Maybe like 3 box breaths. I don't really know any meditations.
Yeah, nah.
Showing
It's not
age
supposed to
now.
make sense. All right.
A deuce is a car. Oh, deuce coupe. Okay. It's not supposed to make sense. Okay. Is that like, did I get that right? Deuce coupe? Is that right?
Well,
I'm still going to sing douche.
it's different. A little deuce cute.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, when Christy is here, she walks us through these wonderful meditations. I don't know any. So revved up like a deuce. Oh, revved up like a deuce. Okay. I thought it was yeah, see, there you go. I thought it was douche for the longest time, my own self. And
I'm still singing douche. I don't care. I make up my own lyrics too, mischief, all the time. I walk around the house singing my own stuff to everything.
My brother used to have a Trans Am, and sometimes he would let me drive it home from college. Which was
Did it have the wings on it?
what?
Did it have the wings on it? You know how the Trans Ams have the wings?
It's a painting. This was in '79 model, so it had
Oh, that's me. I'm a 79 model. Ha!
it had a 454 cubic inch or 455, and it got no gas mileage. It was letting me ride it, so I would put gas in it. It needed antifreeze. It always needed
Thank
everything.
you.
So I had very little money, and I had even less by the time I brought his car back. That's why he was letting me drive it, so I'd put gas in it.
Somewhere that. Oh, let's see. Same one that Smokey on the Bandit. Oh, okay. Same one as Smokey on the Bandit. Okay.
Yeah, except by '79, it was a lot weaker than. I mean, the movie Trans Am was pretty good, but the earlier models were better in the early '70s as far as really power.
Having a real muscle car.
All the smog protection on those cars really did choke them down. sad.
Yeah.
It was very powerful, though. I mean, I did 130 miles an hour in it a few times, which is, what is that about? I don't know, 200 kilometers an hour.
You know,
Whoa.
something there, Mischief.
What's that?
I'd love to wrap a douche up. What about Rudy Giuliani?
Yeah.
Too political.
Aw.
You know, I've said it on here before. I don't necessarily feel like we need to shy away from certain topics. The only thing that I ask is that if you have something that you feel or believe, own it. Don't have a comment about what somebody else thinks or believes. Just own what you think and believe. And I'm good with anything y'all want to talk about.
Well, you know, I think that the Boston mayor who recently made the comment wanted to have the party, and she put for the reasons that she wanted to have it. And she was really talking about inclusion and how to help communities interact, but it did not appear that way when it made the rounds through the email. Somebody's trying to peek in. I can see somebody back there.
Oh,
They're thinking you had a meeting. I think they're finishing your meeting for you. Oh, funny.
That is good. That was so cute. Okay. Hey there.
We had guests today come look at our puppies. Her son, Alex, came and looked.
Did he like them?
Oh, yeah. He liked him, liked the pig, liked them all. Yeah.
That's my little best friend.
That's it.
What a cutie.
Yeah.
How old is he?
She? Yeah.
She, seven?
Yeah.
Man. It goes fast after 7.
Tell her that Mischief says hello, pretty girl.
Everyone says hello. But yeah, I've tried not to put her on mine.
Yeah, probably smart. But, you didn't really have much control over that.
What time is it? What time is it there?
It's almost 7 here.
It's nearly 11 o'clock.
In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning. Yeah.
Ooh, early people.
So the Earth survived another day. She's proof.
It did, yeah. We're gonna make it till tomorrow.
Yeah, we're in the future.
I don't know what, I guess I should invent a cryptocurrency for people to invest into, and then
Yeah, I'll buy it and then sell it tomorrow.
we have to secretly hide the money somewhere else, so when it tanks, we're still wealthy enough to get by.
Yes.
Like they did here. Somebody I know knew that it's a quarterback and who's retired, and he's doing the Hertz commercials right now. And
Okay.
he had invested pretty big, and before it made the news that it
45,
failed, he needed some money from XTF. So it was going to call in and say, hey, I need to pull back, and repurchase some of my investment. And I understand there's a penalty. And he said, I can't.
Oh,
And he had put millions in it. So
poor little dude.
that's pretty sad.
Little doggy dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy called CoffeeZilla, but he exposes a lot of cryptocurrency scams
Right.
online. Yeah, there's so many,
To me, cryptocurrency's purpose should be as an account and transaction validation, but not as a currency itself. I like the digital ledger technology. That makes sense. Well, you're getting a great hairdo. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's like it's so easy because people are buying into these things like these fake eggs and
Right.
stuff. Like it's just if it's not real, don't buy it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like the NFTs, they didn't last very long, did they?
Mm-mm.
Because they could just screenshot them and they're yours too. So, meh.
Right.
They're not unique.
No, I don't know, but we are going to witness money. I mean, without us knowing it, money's been electronic for a long time anyway. But
Yeah. Well, I very rarely use cash. I get annoyed when I get given cash because I'm like, oh, now I have to, get rid of it. So, and most shops don't even like it anyway since COVID. They're like, we'd rather, the
hairstyle. I get it now.
Your tradespeople are probably the last people that really work and deal with cash, I'm sure.
You guys, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get to box braid. I think we better just.
Hey, our mama is at the front porch.
Yeah, the mama dog is.
We'll just.
She's saying, "I'm ready to eat, y'all."
She puts herself up. She climbs the fence and then she climbs back in.
Not into Marvel or anything, but I have to say, you people on here are proof. Not all superheroes wear capes.
I wear a cloak. No word of a lie. So, all right. Well, we just call it here so we can. You guys can feed your animals, and we'll call it here so you can feed your animals and.
Like she's at the door, like saying, "Hey, come on now."
That's the dog at the door.
That's the mama. That's the mama puppy. All right, you guys. Seriously, I need to get in the barn real bad.
Yeah, I love you guys. This has been a really great meeting.
It has been good. Thanks for this, Carol Klingon Target. You're very welcome. Yeah. Thanks for crashing. Thanks you everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. I would have no fun at all if in this by myself, and it wouldn't be a meeting. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.
Peace.
Bye-bye.